Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Onyx Path. I'm Travis Legge. I will be your storyteller for the day. Almost said story guide. Would have got myself into a whole bunch of trouble. Um, my pronouns are he, him, they. All are fine by me, and I am blessed and joyfully able to exert the privilege of telling a story with this lovely cast that we have assembled for today. Let's go ahead and have everyone introduce themselves. Tell us who you are, what you do, your pronouns, who you're playing, their pronouns, and anything that you'd like to promote or share with the audience at home. And let's start things off going clockwise from me. So first up, we'll have Rhett. Please give us all of your pertinent details.
Hi there, I'm Rhett Altman, they, them, and on Twitter at Road River Rail. And if you happen to like World of Darkness shitposting, then I recommend my humor account at Tech Union Actual, where I defend the powers of normalcy on the world of Twitter. When I'm not here, I occasionally stream with a small independent group called Big Dad Industries. They do lots of fun World of Darkness streaming, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. So come hang out for the hilarious mummy jokes. And that'll do it for me.
Excellent. Next up, that leads us to Rowan. Please give us your pertinence.
Hello, I'm Rowan. I use he, him pronouns. Today I will be playing Connor, who uses he, him pronouns. I'm not super around on social media, but I am one of 4 hosts of a geeky media review podcast called The Ace of Geeks. You can find us on Twitter at Ace of Geeks. And I also have some music that I made during the pandemic in order to keep myself from going mad. You can find that. I should go get a SoundCloud link for that. But a lot of it is on my Ko-fi account. That's ko-fi.com/Salebriel. That's SALEIBRIEL. Yeah, so check that out if you're interested, but mostly the Ace of Geeks podcast. That's me.
Excellent. And by the way, if you have any links that you want to share with the class, go ahead and toss them in the Zoom, and I'll throw them in the chat at my first convenience or during the end of the stream, one of the two. It'll be the end. Everybody that's watching will stick around so they can watch, so they can catch the links, obviously.
Yeah.
And last but not least, that brings us to Anton. Please give us your pertinent details.
Hey, I am Anton, pronouns he, him. I'll be playing Frank, also pronouns he, him. I have a very, very limited social media presence, so I mean, you can go looking for me, but I'm probably not there. So I'm an old and I fear change, so it is what it is.
Fair and perfectly valid, and probably makes you the wisest person that's currently on this screen, to be honest with you. But
it's not get crazy.
Having said all that, we have the reason for our gathering is to tell a story, to explore the lore of the traditions. Everyone that you see on this screen was instrumental in making Lore of the Traditions happen. I want to thank you all so much for your contribution to that immense dream come true, awesome moment for me as a creator, and hopefully the Mage community, once they get their hands on the final book, will be as thrilled in reading it as I have been in creating it, and you've all been instrumental in that process, so thank you. I really appreciate it. So diving right in, each of you has created a character. We've talked a little bit about kind of what our plan is going in, but I do want to cover a few things just for the audience's edification at home. Mainly, I want to make sure we go over our safety tool decisions. We talked a little bit beforehand, but I do want to just kind of cover them and point out that on most streams I use the X card. For anybody that might not be familiar, you can play your X card or show an X, say X, make an X with your hands. You can type it in the Zoom chat if you want to, though full disclosure, that's the last place I'm going to see it. And if you make an X, we stop immediately and pull out whatever content is problematic. The only question I might ask you is if I am for some reason unclear as to what the triggering element is, I'll ask for clarification. But that's it. We don't need to know the specifics. Just we'll excise it. However, we also discussed yes goes and no goes a little bit, and I will give everybody a chance to reiterate those. Yes goes being these are the elements I would like to see in the show up at some point, and no goes being the elements I would not like to see. My standard no go is SA. Don't see any reason to have it in games. My standard yes go tends to be blood and gore, though in this case, I don't expect a whole lot of that to be in this, unless somebody really wants me to, dial up the gorehound part of the story. I probably can. But let's go in the opposite order this time for our yes goes and our no goes. So Anton, do you have any yes goes or no goes that you would like to share?
I don't think I have any no goes really. I certainly haven't run into any in play. Generally because I play with a group that know each other pretty well, so we all know each other's buttons. But I'm pretty flexible. Yes goes. I think we kind of already talked previously. I kind of foresee this being kind of a mystery focused game, investigation focused game, and so that and a lot of I'm good with a lot of character interaction. A big part of Mage is people talking about the ways that their views of the world match or don't match. So I'm cool with a lot with that too. But otherwise I'm pretty flexible, which I know is often annoying for storytellers.
No, it's beautiful.
But
I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it. So definitely some investigation aspects, I believe, and some philosophical, heated perhaps philosophical debate. I believe I can provide those in abundance for you. I think you'll enjoy what we have planned. Next up, Rowan, do you have any yes goes, no?
I feel like I had something in my head and it immediately flew out the window. I know that in the original email chain we specifically said as a no-go, we do not want to murder hobo.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, there will be no senseless violence or scenarios where the expected solution is a raw, violent encounter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And this is something that I would like to float as not this is not a hard no. This is a maybe less. Yeah. Authority figures are mostly reasonable.
You would like that to be the case, or you would like that to not?
Yes, I would like that to be the case.
The authority figures are mostly reasonable. Okay, yeah. I can get behind that if no one has any objection to it. And then that was the end of your list, though, right?
Yeah, basically.
Excellent. And then Rhett, any yes goes, no goes?
So on the no-goes list, and we did talk about this in the prep, but let's leave kicking the dog, torturing the cat on the side.
Absolutely.
If a murderous drop bear lands on us, that's fine. But the world's a hard enough place without us, having something bad happen to somebody's cat. So on the yes goes, Max is sort of the most physical of the characters and definitely showy. And so just a couple of opportunities to kind of be like, never fear, little missy, I'll save you.
Beautiful.
Or just other sort of physically showy moments, whatever they are, would be kind of interesting.
Loud heroism.
And honestly, it plays well into the philosophical debates because the more I've wrote up Max, the more I realize that Max is probably about 5 years of bad experiences away from being a marauder. Max's idealism and living for others is a really great way to fall into solipsism in one bad bout of quiet. Yes. I think that all plays really well together. I think this could be a fun session. I like the way these three characters have shaped up.
I think it'll be a blast. I look forward to it. And we also did discuss a little bit prior. Just we're gonna. This story will involve some themes that involve, some teenagers that are maybe going through a little bit of trouble. But we are going to steer very clear of any sort of, outright child endangerment stuff. The world has enough of that as well. So, having said all that, I think we're ready to dive in. And I think today we will start our tale with each of you kind of going about your normal business. Now, we had a brief discussion beforehand that Frank was going to be no, I apologize. That Connor was going to be on the way. Was going to be expecting Frank, right, to check on him. Is that accurate?
I don't know if Connor is expecting Frank. His mentor Connor's mentor shortly before he died, let Frank know, hey, I've got an apprentice I've been keeping secret.
Gotcha.
I'm going to do something kind of dangerous. Please go check on them, just in case.
Well, in that case, let's pick things up with Connor then.
Okay.
Connor, you're driving into you're driving through Illinois.
Okay.
Driving into pulling into the small town of Davis Junction. It's barely a town, really, but they do have a fairgrounds. They do have 5 or 6 bars, a couple gas stations, mom and pop greasy spoon. And there's a lot of signs up that indicate that there's a wrestling show coming into town, going to be in town for the next couple of days.
Okay.
You're probably just, I would assume, passing through. Maybe you live in a town nearby. Maybe you've just come home from perhaps something that was work related or personal ascension related, as it were.
I mean, could say that I originally came to this town because an old friend of my stepdad needed some auto work done, and for I'm house sitting right now. I have the kids this weekend. I can't get out to you, but I need my car. Could you just send somebody? So I went out to this town and I did what I could on the car, and now I'm looking for what time of day is it?
It's going to be just around dusk. So
just around dusk. So I'm probably looking for something to eat or yeah.
You're pulling through. We'll say that your stop was in the town of Kings, which is not too far from Davis Junction. That's where you were actually doing the auto work, and there's nothing there but one bar that's already closed.
Right.
So, so as you're driving from Kings to Davis Junction, your drive and your thoughts are interrupted by the staccato flashing of red and blue lights behind you and the wail of a siren.
Okay. I make sure I'm as clear as I can be, and then I pull over to the side of the road carefully and slow down, come to a stop, fiddle around awkwardly in my glove compartment because the arm that I have is on the opposite side from the glove compartment.
Excellent. You're fiddling around with the glove box, and you hear a growl and a scratching noise. That seems to come up from above your head.
Yeah, I'm gonna look in my rearview mirror because I'm pretty sure this is my avatar trying to tell me something.
You do see, in fact, a wolf, and you're not certain that you've ever seen this level of fear in its eyes. it looks scared, as it's like almost like whining, like a whining growl as it scratches against the back of the glass.
Okay. Okay, well, in that case, from my glove compartment, I'm gonna also very hesitantly retrieve my probationary licensed mortality compliance auditor license, and slip that into my thing and just close my eyes for a minute, lean back in the chair, and try and remember everything I ever learned about cop procedure in law school before I had to drop out because Ascension.
The officer reaches the door, taps on the window with his flashlight.
Roll down my window. Can I help you, officer?
Yes. Can I see your license and registration, please?
Of course.
You've got a brake laid out. He starts looking at the paperwork.
Can I do a roll about that just to see if he's lying to me?
Sure. Yeah. What would you like to roll? Like a perception empathy?
Yes.
Sure. Let's do it. Difficulty is going to be 6. Your difficulty is going to be 6 on any roll, unless I tell you otherwise, or it's magic, because that you know the math for the magic.
All the things that I grabbed, for some reason I didn't grab my regular dice. Okay.
Come to class without your pencil.
6. 1 success, 2 successes. Well, it would have been 2 successes, but then I also rolled a botch, so 1 success.
That's fine. You're relatively certain that he's not like coming at you with like a sideways. He doesn't seem to be like hiding anything directly.
Okay.
The only other thing that you pick up is that he seems something about him does not seem quite right. It's a little hard to place, but almost like he has a bit of a discomfort in his skin.
Okay. It's probably too late to do magic about this. I'd like to do a sphere 1 spirit effect to see if I can get a read on what's going on at that level.
How would you like to go about in turning on your spirit sight without alerting this officer while satisfying the needs of your paradigm?
So he's looking at my license. I'm just going to maintain eye contact for eye contact, and then just like hang my one arm outside the car like I'm totally comfortable with this interaction, just as a small aspect of like trying to assert social dominance.
Okay, excellent. That will work for me. He does kind of raise an eyebrow at you as you first move, but then goes back to looking at the paperwork. And I'll
don't mind me, officer. I'm armless.
Nice. Make a Arate roll at difficulty 4.
Okay, so is that going to be just Arate or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Arate.
got it. Okay. Well, if I had gotten into my thing, 1 success, 2 successes.
Beautiful. Your eyesight starts to reach across the gauntlet, and you can see in the periphery, in the background, kind of what you'd expect to see out in Illinois farmland. It's pretty vibrant. It's spring, so a lot of things are growing. There's a certain brightness to everything, and except for this officer. And in fact, it's almost as if you can see another form that is stretched and yet crunched in various different aspects to make it fit within the shape of this officer's body.
Okay.
And this appears to be a humanoid that is wearing a tuxedo and a top hat, but has the face of a fox. Its snout sort of squished against the inside of his nose, the top hat pushed down beneath the top of the officer's hair.
Okay.
At that moment, as soon as you recognize that connection, the officer hands you back the second ID you handed him. I think that was stuck to the back of your license. Didn't even really look at it. And he says, all right, I'll be right back. I'm going to run these. And
all right.
walks back to the car.
Can I, is this a thing that I can do? I don't have meditation, but I would like to see if I can. I don't have meditation, and meditation is not one of my, okay. But I do have prayers and invocations. Okay, I'm going to see if I can talk with my patron, the Morrigan, for a minute.
Okay.
See if I can get any more context or direction.
How would you like to try to go about invoking that? Just trying to say a prayer and hope for the best?
At this point, yeah, I think I'm a little out of sorts. I wasn't expecting trouble. I know I've been following the law, and if this person has a spiritual rider, he's probably not going to care if I lawyer at him.
That's fair.
So,
why don't you go ahead and give me let's do a charisma plus patron as you play. Your difficulty is going to be 8.
Okay. Blessing, but yeah. 8. Okay. So. Okay, 10. 10s explode?
10's kind of 2 successes.
Okay, 2 successes.
If you have a appropriate specialty, then I can get an extra die. Yeah, 10's counts.
6 successes.
Excellent. You hear like the shriek of ravens as physically nothing happens, but umbrally, like a dozen birds all perch on your car. One of them sort of like perched on the very edge of like the lip of the car door, just like pokes its head down upside down.
Like, hello. There's a cop here with a stranger riding him I've never seen before. I feel like I should be worried pointing behind me into the space where my avatar, a giant white wolf, is presumably still sitting in the back of the car, looking out the back window at the cops, snarling. Should I be worried about this? Any direction would be wonderful.
Well, not to put too fine a point on it, but you should be worried about everything. However,
yeah,
in this
that's fair.
There is something sickly about that office.
Can I do anything about it right now?
At the moment, at a traffic stop in the United States of America, you think it's a good idea to engage a police officer?
No, I don't think it's a good idea to engage a police officer when they're off duty, but that's just me.
Find out where it comes and send it.
Yes, ma'am.
The birds fly off, a little feather falls into your car.
Okay. I'm going to make the first of several stupid decisions. I'm going to get out of my car and walk over to the cop.
Excellent. You stand up and he hops out and puts his hand on his hip and says, "Sir, I'm going to need you to get back in your car, please."
Sorry.
Thanks. I'll be right there.
Okay. Sorry. Just, I noticed something weird going on. Want to make sure you were okay.
I'm fine. I would like you to have a seat in your car, please.
Yes, sir. And I'm going to go get back into my car just with the door open and my arm still slung over the side.
All right. About a minute later, he walks up and hands you a slip of paper and your driver's license.
He handed me my driver's license.
Or I'm sorry, yeah, just a slip of paper.
Okay, got it.
So he gave you, yeah, he gives you back everything that he might still have of yours.
Okay.
And one other slip of paper that is a warning ticket.
Okay.
He says 2 things. 1, get your brake lights fixed. 2, there are cops that would have just, lost their cool at you. Don't get out of your car during a traffic stop.
It's really that bad in this country, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Be careful.
You too. You too, officer.
Hits the top of your car and says, be safe, and walks back to his car.
Oh, officer, one last thing.
Yes.
And I'm going to, because I have called and he has responded to my request, I'm asserting social dominance, eye contact. I'm going to look into the astral at this spirit and try to tell it. Hang on, I need to take a moment.
Sure, take your time.
I'm trying to figure out how to use blessings and curses as a banishment without being really weird about it.
Blessings and curses, like specifically like laying some sort of like an entropic.
I don't have the entropy sphere.
Okay.
But blessings and curses is one of my tools.
Oh, okay.
Kind of adjacent to invocations and prayers.
Oh, okay. So like phrasing it as a curse kind of thing?
Or just a blessing of protection on the person that drives the spirit out.
That would be fine. That would be fine.
Okay. Honestly, the only one that I can think of is the old Irish blessing. May the road rise to meet you.
Okay. Excellent. And you're going to attempt to use what spheres to compel this spirit to leave?
So honestly, I'm going to use spirit and forces. I'm going to draw inspiration from anime to exert spiritual pressure and try and intimidate this spirit into leaving.
Sure. What's your forces?
Forces 3.
Okay, excellent. And do you have Prime 2?
No.
And what you will need to do is define a force, something that would be covered under forces, that's present here that you would use, that you would manipulate in order to push them out.
Okay. And because I don't have mind, I can't use something intangible like the authority of the Morrigan.
Yeah, you need a mind. You need to work some mind into that. You
Okay.
could draw on the ambient wind. You could draw on, air pressure if you wanted to push them down. Things like that.
Yeah, I'll just, I want to use just a big sudden gust of wind twirling and spiraling up into the sky to try and pull this thing out or off of him and just send it flying.
All right, that'll be a Arte roll. It's going to still fall under coincidental at this point.
Okay.
So that'll be a difficulty of 6. It's going to be rely on forces 3, spirit 1. And they will get to resist that.
Cool. I'm going to spend 2 points of willpower.
Excellent. You can spend you only spend 1 on per turn on automatic successes.
Okay.
If you have any quintessence, you can spend it to lower difficulty, however.
Because I have
avatar rating.
I have Avatar 3.
Yep, so you can spend up to 3.
Okay.
I'm
going to spend 1 willpower and 1 quintessence. So that's 2 successes, or?
Quintessence lowers it to difficulty 5.
Cool.
Willpower gives you an automatic success.
1 automatic success, difficulty 5. No. 1 success.
Excellent.
Sorry, 2 successes, including the willpower.
Excellent. As you say your blessing, you can see physically there doesn't seem to be any reaction whatsoever from the elf. However, on the spiritual plane, you see like this. You do see the wind gust up physically, and you see this thing sort of like lurch up out of the boundaries of his body for a moment, and then it's like the paws on its feet, catch the shoulders and pull it down into like almost like a perch on the cop's shoulders, and it just locks eyes with you for a moment and smiles, and then turns off and starts to scurry away.
I'm gonna get back in my car, probably really awkwardly, like I'm trying not to spook the cop.
Yeah, the cop says, you too, and gets in the car.
Okay, and then we just drive off. Is the thing running in the direction of town?
You see it like hop off of his shoulders, bound around the police car, and then you don't see it anymore.
Okay. He's probably going to pick that thing up immediately as soon as I leave, but oh god, it's there's when I'm more competent, I can come up with a more permanent solution. Right now, this is the best I can do.
Excellent. And with that, you head to the mom and pop diner to grab yourself some food. Yes, or are you going anywhere else from there?
Honestly, probably just either the mom and pop thing, or I'm like, I want to get out of my head for a minute. There's a promotion happening. I guess I could watch that. That sounds like fun.
Excellent. You head to the wrestling venue.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Frank, you're maintaining a job as a private investigator, correct?
Yep.
Your office, I would assume, somewhere fairly urban. Right?
Yeah, I mean, Chicago suburbs, maybe.
Okay. That works. You're in your office. It's probably about 3 p.m. on a Friday.
Okay.
Do you maintain an office by yourself, or do you maintain like any support staff, like a secretary, anything along those lines?
No, it's probably just me. I'm marginal enough, and probably makes it easier when dealing with weirdness.
One door with glass in it that has your name and investigations, and just goes
Basically,
into one room.
Yeah.
Cigarette smoke, a fan sort of idling in the background.
Sure. I probably don't actually smoke, and yet somehow it just is here.
Resonance, a heck of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Your door opens about 3 p.m. You see a very familiar person. Natalie Marin, your former cohort. She's wearing a suit, couple of lapel pins that are very clearly hermetic wards.
Oh, geez. I probably there's a certain amount of half getting up from the desk, possibly knocking something over, trying to put that right. Natalie, what are you doing here?
Good to see you too.
Yeah. What brings you out to Schaumburg?
Actually work, oddly enough.
Fascinating.
She comes in and sits down. I would like to hire you to find someone for me.
Okay. Sure. Don't you have minions now that can do stuff like that for you?
I have students.
Uh-huh.
Yes, but I'd like to keep this
I was a student once. I think minions is probably the more accurate term, but okay. But you want to keep it off the books.
I guess, yeah. I want to keep the number of opinions involved in this situation to a manageable minimum.
Okay, it's fair.
And I figure if I can pay you to do the work for me, I won't have. Part of the consideration I'm willing to make is for you to keep your opinion to yourself about the work.
Well, sure. Okay. That is a way we could do that.
She pulls out a manila envelope and tosses it down on your desk. In that envelope, in addition to $5,000 of cash, you will find all of the information that I have on Ella Anderson. She's a 13-year-old girl, recently awakened, immediately ran away from home.
Oh.
Her parents are, well, there's no, I guess, easy way to put this. Her parents are black suits. They've earned enough clout within the organization to maintain a cover life. That cover life has included a child. According to the intelligence that I have, the child is not aware or was not aware of her parents' occupation or any details of the factions of the Ascension conflict, I might say.
As we're having this discussion, I'm going to be going through I'm presuming there's probably some pictures and stuff in there. And
photos, social media feeds, report cards, disciplinary reports from school. As near as you can tell with a kind of a cursory examination, she's kind of a normal teenager that, you know, likes anime and soccer. You do notice she's a pro wrestling fan. You do make note of that. But all, as near as you can tell, seems to have kind of like a relatively picturesque suburban upbringing.
Okay, so this kid ran away from home, and you want me to find her?
Yes.
And what?
Talk
to her? Put her in contact with you?
I want you to
bring her back to her distraught parents? I'm guessing it's not that one.
Well, you need to work on your guessing game. Maybe I should hire a different detective.
Oof.
Here's the deal. Things have gotten, I'm sure you've noticed, things have gotten ugly out there, everywhere out there. The whole nine. We have to start. I'm not here to pitch you on how I think it's best to fix the world, but I'll leave it at this. We need to start prioritizing our problems, and the Technocratic Union is not our biggest problem. If they're not our biggest problem, we might be able to make some. We might be able to make some beneficial, if temporary, alliances, and one way to do that is to help them out when they need help.
Well, all right. Well, I suddenly feel a lot better about all of this, but okay. That's maybe dangerous, but
it's going to be extremely dangerous because I'm not going to send you in here, you know, blind. I want to make you aware as well that the parents have exercised the privilege at their disposal to hold off any official investigation by the Union of this missing child. They don't know how long they can hold it off. I don't know how long they can hold it.
What?
Their ideal hope is that you can get the child, bring the child home, they can have a conversation with the child, okay, about what's going on. They suspect that the child either just got confused by their awakening and took off, which is a tale as old as time, or that Ella might have found something in the process of her awakening. You know, something, if she's on the family computer and, you know.
Why don't they want their organization getting involved? Are they on the outs? I mean, they're clearly not on the outs. They're allowed to have a family.
I don't know if you'd believe me if I told you, but when
the world's a big place. I believe a lot of stuff.
Okay, that's fair. When Mark, her father, approached me about this, we were discussing unrelated matters, and he pointed out to me that he wanted to give Ella a chance to grow up, to see what they were fighting for, was his word. My understanding is he and his wife are both vat grown. So maybe they just wanted her to have a normal life. I mean, maybe it sounds far-fetched, but I buy it. I believe it.
Okay, well, I mean, you're right. That does strain credulity a little bit, but it's at least internally consistent.
Yeah, and I'm perfectly well aware that they train their operatives to be very, very, very convincing liars, but I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. Sure. I'll take it. There's a lot of worse things you could have asked, so I guess I'll take this and the money, I guess. I'll tell you, if they weren't if you didn't expect them to be so low-key about this, the money would not be enough to take the job and keep my opinions to myself, but I guess this is not nearly as nasty as I thought it would be, hopefully.
It could be a lot worse. And if it turns out to be a lot worse, you know, I don't want to have an argument with you. That doesn't mean I don't respect your judgment. If you get a sniff that something's wrong, we'll have a different conversation.
All right.
Okay, but if everything is the way that I'm laying it out to you, yeah, I'd like you to just do the job.
All right, well, I'll try not to call you, but we'll see.
Right. Happy hunting.
Flipping through the file. You know, you said into wrestling, anime, soccer, anything that stands out as weird or occulty. Or conversely, is she involved in any like weird like science club type stuff that could lead this to be like an internal rivalry faction on their side?
Are you asking the storyteller as you're going through the paperwork, or are you?
Yeah, no, I'm asking the storyteller.
Oh, yeah, excellent. Go ahead and give me a let's do an intelligence and investigation. Or research, if you have that, whichever's higher. And that will just be standard difficulty of 6.
I have both at the same level, so. Mm, that is no successes.
Excellent. Nothing leaps out to you
Wait a
as
minute.
being anything. Oh.
Yeah.
And nothing leaps out
Nope.
to you as being
Yeah.
like this is on fire. This is the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing in particular jumps out. The only thing that you note, as far as like connections or groups that she might belong to, you do find in her TikTok messages
Mm-hmm.
a couple of discussions with a user that calls themselves Street Cred, and they spell cred like bread and street with 3 extra E's in it. And
I dislike them intensely already.
and that user explains that they have an opportunity for Ella to earn a few bucks and watch some wrestling. All they got to do is all that Ella's got to do is meet them at this thing in Davis Junction.
Okay.
Ella explains in the messages she doesn't have a great way of getting there. And he says, tell you what, I think, he says, Vega has a car. We'll come through and get you. And then she says, meet me at the library. My parents will never let me go if you come here. And these messages were sent 3 days ago.
Okay. All right. Well, in the interest of okay. I did also have another prior contact who wanted me to get a hold of their mentee in, is this effectively downstate Illinois?
Yeah, well, it's like a little bit west of where you're, or yeah, a little bit west and a little bit north of where you're at.
Oh, okay. All right, gotcha. Okay, so if I'm going to be heading out that direction anyways, I will maybe, unless this is going to cause timeline problems, give that Connor guy a call.
Excellent. You call the number that you have for Connor. It goes
Okay.
to an answering machine of all things.
Okay. What was Connor's mentor's name? Rowan?
I hadn't made one up. I think let's go with Erasmus.
Okay. All right. So on Connor's answering machine, there ends up being a message. Hey Connor, you don't know me. My name is Frank. I knew Erasmus. When you get a chance, give me a call. I think I'll be out in your neighborhood and would love to maybe meet for coffee, just to touch base. Thanks. And I leave a phone number.
Excellent. Anything else before you head that direction?
Let's see. Before I head out, I fill my trench coat pockets with various paraphernalia, pendants, and chalk and stuff like that. There's active agents in that area, which probably means either there's not a lot weird going on out there, or there is a lot weird going on out there that they're there to keep an eye on.
The parents are from nearby Rochelle, which is a small town by like, why is there a technocracy presence here standards? About like 45,000 people. But that's where they appear to live.
You're saying it's either dead or it's Roswell. That's funny.
Right? Okay. All right. Can I just reach out to random undifferentiated contacts in the area to see, besides the issue I'm working on, if there's any strangeness that's known to be going on in that area?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Or, and I'll pick a couple random things, including this wrestling show. Just, hey, is there anything weird going on with that? Like, for instance, a mage that is part of it. I mean, sure. I wouldn't know that going into it, but
just as a random example,
an interesting thing to pick up on.
Just as a random piece of trivia. Why don't you go ahead and give me like let's do manipulation or charisma, whichever you prefer, and contacts roll if you don't mind. Difficulty 6.
Yep. It's the same with either stat. We'll just say charisma. Okay, 2 successes.
The strangest thing that you come up with in recent memory in the immediate vicinity of Rochelle, there are a couple of rumors about a haunted house in the small town of Kings that go back to the foundation of the town in the early 1900s. This house that was supposedly abandoned. Kids break in every once in a while and, say they see orbs and stuff, but there's nothing like, there's not a body count associated with it. There's not any supporting evidence other than urban legend.
Okay.
Only other strange thing you find is that 6 months ago there was a series of cattle mutilations, which were subsequently discovered to be the responsibility of drunken members of the football team.
Okay.
Otherwise, seems pretty normal.
Okay.
As far as the wrestling show that's coming through town, I guess let's go over to Max and find out a little bit. Now, is this wrestling outfit that you're working with, do you envision this as being something that has kind of like a mystical carnival vibe to it, or is it like you just happen to be the one awakened person that's in this outfit?
Like a lot of performers in my tier, I'm sort of taking jobs as I can get them and traveling around. So there's a really good chance I wouldn't know a single awakened soul in this organization. They probably have like a reasonable draw. Like, I was pulling up my Illinois geography, and this is just outside of Rockford, which is, it's not small potatoes, but it's not like my path to TV stardom either.
Right.
But I've probably been bouncing around the Midwest in my travel van, like taking shows here and there, kind of secretly hoping. My one dot of contacts is actually my booking agent, and I'm like secretly hoping that my booking agent is going to get me a big win in Chicago sometime soon.
Gotcha. Okay.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. Safe to say that there's probably nothing inherently remarkable about the wrestling show itself.
No. I mean, good talent. Everyone's on the rise. Everybody is very cutthroat, but there's nothing unusual about it.
Yeah. The thing that strikes you as the most notable probably is that it's your contacts refer to it as kind of like a farm league for your for the bigger
Yep.
outfits, your AEWs and WWEs and all that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real as far as Frank can tell through investigation, nothing unusual about the outfit itself.
Okay.
Anything
Cool.
else that Frank would like to do before we hitting
Uh,
the road?
I mean, he. Hmm.
If you'd like a few minutes to ponder that, I'm gonna head over to Max.
Yeah, I mean, let me
So
ponder
if you
that.
think of anything in the interim, just let me know when I bring you back.
All right, sounds good.
Beautiful. Max is out, just going out into the ring. Your opponent is named Crusher. He's got kind of a like 1930s Barnum and Bailey circus strongman vibe going on. So, like the one shoulder leotard kind of vibe. Bit of George the Animal Steel going on. Very hairy dude. Kind of growls as part of his gimmick. And you step out into the ring as you're announced. Right about this time, because time tends to work a bit funny, Connor, you are walking in, kind of acquiring maybe some, extremely overpriced hot dogs.
Yeah.
And a little sip of soda for about $9.95.
Yeah.
And
I was probably paid in cash, just like a wad by my dad's friend. He was like, I don't have time for this. Just take it and go.
So you're walking in kind of right as Max takes the ring. And so Max, how would you like to start off this as you square off with your opponent? How would you like to start off your match?
So Max tries the incredibly classic babyface move of offering a handshake, at a cautious distance.
Connor yells, "Watch out! Those are deadly!"
Crusher's probably somebody that Max has worked with, a few times before, and they know this gimmick well. So of course the hand goes out, and Crusher immediately kicks it away with the bottom of his boot, and then wipes his boot like he touched something dirty.
I love it. I love it.
And sort of, I use that as an opportunity to pace the ring and do sort of a big sort of showman's, pose. Max is sort of equal parts like working class hero, but also glam rocker.
Okay.
So there's a lot of rock and roll swagger to him.
A little bit of the heart. Like the Heart Foundation kind of vibe, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there's time to pump the crowd while we're disengaged before we leap into our first tie up.
Sure. And as you're doing that, I would like you to go ahead and give me a perception and awareness, or empathy, or streetwise, whichever of those you would like to rely on.
Okay. So I had set things up with I had set my alertness at 2 if this was general perception. If this was meant more as a detecting unusual things role, then I understand awareness.
Yeah, this is more of a unusual. You're looking for something that's it's a bit off, a bit odd.
Okay, well then I will bring my one point of streetwise to bear on top of my perception.
Sure.
And that is 2 successes. 10s are only double when you have a specialty, right?
I believe that is accurate. When you have a specialty, or if actually it is just when you have a specialty. I tend to give them on Arate rolls regardless, but you're right, it is just when you have a specialty. So 2 successes?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So as you're looking out over the crowd, you notice two younger kids, look like they're probably in their early teens, moving throughout the crowd. Definitely doing like the Bourbon Street bump into people as they're moving through, and just relieving folks of their wallets. You notice one of them, long blonde hair, somewhat skinny, freckles. She looks up at you and like tilts her head to the side like a confused puppy for just a moment, and almost like locks eyes with you as you're looking at her, and then gets real skittish and starts to try to fade into the crowd.
So is that to say that I pretty much immediately lose sight of her?
You can try to track her. However, you do hear the telltale stomp of a wrestling boot on bouncy squared circle behind you. So...
All right. So I turn around to make the next spot, and I sort of grab Crusher, and after a bit of hemming and hawing, get him in with so the technical term is a front chancery, but most people would call that a headlock. Get him down in a headlock and actually like use the opportunity to sort of turn and try to at least figure out which side of the ring they're staying on. I'm actually almost imagining that I might be able to bring Mind One to bear on this. I am in the midst of martial arts and gimmicks and in my costume, so I have a lot of the trappings of my trade with me.
Yeah,
and I'm wondering, maybe on the slide, just like turning him around, I can at least try to get a sense of what side of the ring these two are staying on.
Yeah, it would be very similar to like reading the crowd, right? You're just looking for one particular thing in the crowd you might not normally otherwise be looking for.
Right, right.
So that's fine by me. So what I would like you to do is a small series of rolls.
Okay.
Because you're going to need to split your dice pool between whether it be brawl or athletics or performance.
Right.
To handle the headlock situation. You're just straight normal perception, which will act as and you can add alertness to this one, which will act as your manifesting your focus, and then the mind roll to activate.
Okay, so let's try to break this down into individual things, because I heard you in abstract, but I'm not sure how to assemble pools.
Sure. So what you would do is you would take the lower of the two pools between your headlock pool and your perception pool.
Got it.
And
okay.
Take the lower of those two pools, subtract one die from it, roll that, and split the successes up between the two.
Okay.
And then your Arte roll will be separately. It doesn't fall into the split.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So again, using the perception and streetwise, that's 3 and -1 penalty. So that's 2. And that's no successes, but at least not a botch.
Okay, excellent. So you're sort of swift. You can still make that mind check if you'd like.
All right. Well,
it does allow you to turn on the sense. So that'd be Arte at 4.
Yep. And that is 2 successes.
Okay. So you do turn on your sort of reading the crowd sense. And though you're unable to pin them down, especially as you are now about to suffer a reversal from Crusher, you do pick up, aside from the overwhelming crowds into it, there's definitely like an overwhelming sensation of like energy and joy and thrill and bloodlust and all those things that you would see at a sporting event. But you do pick out about 5 pockets throughout, predominantly on the side you were previously facing, of different emotional quality, strong enough to sort of pierce through. Like if somebody's just having a bad day out in that crowd, that's not going to go through it's not going to reach through to you. You know what I mean? But you have a couple people who are clearly nervous or scared enough that it's poking through, and you have kind of a, correct me if this is not an accurate description, but a somewhat anxiety-ridden ball of slightly Jahar flavored mind, mixed in with a slight tinge of disgust at this awful, awful hot dog that they just bit into, sitting probably in one of the rear rows on that side as well.
Good to know. Good to know.
And then I'm going to need just a straight up defensive maneuver from you, whether that be athletics or close combat, as Crusher's going to try to put you on the mat.
Cool. Yeah, so Dex and Athletics fine with you for that?
That is absolutely fine by me.
All right. That is a paltry 1 success.
Excellent. Crusher nails the reversal and gets you up into the air for like a suplex. At that point, that is when Frank walks in. Frank, did you think of anything else that you wanted to do in preparation for this event?
I normally would have my normal walking around mind shields that I do every morning, just because I'm a little paranoid.
Sure.
I would have wanted to do some quick research to see if I can figure out who owns that possibly haunted house.
Oh, okay.
Or if there's anything weird going on about that, right?
Sure.
And then I would have messaged or called Natalie just a real quick no framing details, but just, do parents know you hired someone? Do not intend to engage. So she can get back to me when she feels like it.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me just another real quick investigation roll, and I'll give you the information that you're able to get about the haunted house,
Okay.
and then we'll just dive in.
Double check that again.
Leaving Max just up in the air.
Mid splash.
Okay. Looking at difficulty 6, correct?
Yes.
2 successes.
Strangest thing, you find that there doesn't seem to be any record of ownership for that lot. It's just gone. It's not in any of the county records. It's as if I think it's Stevenson County has just lost this piece of property.
Yeah, I mean, that checks with chart for a creepy haunted house. I honestly would have been surprised if that weren't the case. Okay, all right.
So with that, I'm going to need a quick stamina roll out of Max. But your difficulty for this roll is going to be 4 because you have assistance. He's certainly not trying to lay you down hard, Trying to put that impact on his elbow, not on your...
Like a good scrapping partner does.
Exactly.
So that's 2 successes.
Excellent. Yeah, you bounce and you're able to give good show, but there's the sting of the mat, but no damage. What would you like to do as that resolves itself?
Well, of course, I give a great writhing in pain for the crowd, and sell it well, and make sure that they get a nice, healthy amount of cheering to rally the face. I lean into Crusher and I say, "Okay, big boy, it's time for the Mercury Rising."
He nods.
Yep. And so this is going to be a forces assist. This is what's been making a name for Max. So dice don't fail me now. Max seems to be preternaturally able to just lift and heave people several times what, it seems like someone of his physique ought to be able to do. And it gives that great underdog face appeal to see that sort of thing. It's why Crusher is somebody who Max would work with. So do we want to do the Arte reduces the difficulty of the wrestle roll, or how do we want to do this?
What we can do is let's do an Arte. It's going to be a coincidental forces 2, I would assume, right?
Yep.
And then that will add kind of automatic successes, I would say, to your athletics roll. And you also do have Crusher is helping you, and got 3 successes on his roll to do so. So we're going to go ahead and drop the difficulty of your athletics roll by 2 and your Arte roll by 1. So you'll be making an Arte roll at difficulty 4.
Okay. With all of that help, I will uncheck the willpower I was about to spend. So I do get 1 success on the Arte. It's an 8-1-8, so the 1 takes away an 8. So
Excellent.
1 success.
That is enough to get the effect off. So now you'll be looking at, you have 1 automatic success and your difficulty's 4 on your athletics check.
And I was actually going to offer up maybe strength and martial arts.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
My martial art is my pro wrestling.
Absolutely fine.
I was going to ask if I could do awareness perception about this, but I don't think it's on the level that I would be like.
I mean, it's like a big lift and hold that is obviously unnatural. So,
and awareness isn't necessarily like, my feeling on when you're running it is awareness isn't necessarily like, intentional, right? Mm-hmm. You might just notice stuff. Okay. So if you absolutely go ahead and roll awareness perception. You may roll as well if you'd like, Frank.
All right. Let's see here. You said, what's the difficulty? 4?
Yeah.
Okay. That's great, because I'm rolling rocks today. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. 1 is a 10, so it's 5 successes.
Excellent. You bring him up and bang right down.
Yeah, it's a big hold and lift. There's an obvious moment. In fact, when he takes his arm off my shoulder, which would be the way he would be supporting his weight at that point. And so he's like flying in air. It's almost a ballet move frozen in time before the grand spike and the pin and the 1, 2, 3.
Awesome.
The ring of the bell, the roar of the crowd.
I love it. Yeah, and it is, you sell it 110%. People are up out of their seats cheering. Did we get successes on either of those awareness rolls?
What was the difficulty? Was 6?
6, yeah.
Okay, I only got 1 success.
So I got 2, and then also since I was coming here looking for a recently awakened mage, I would have put up a effectively sensory on all of the spheres I've got, looking for just shenanigans in general.
Okay, how many spheres do you have? 3, right?
No, I'm wide but not deep. Okay. So I'd be looking for anyone messing with entropy forces, matter, mind, or prime.
Okay. Also remember, what's your wits?
3. I'm seeing this as 1 conjunctional effect. I don't know if that's
right, but you're not. No, that's fine, but you're cracking multiple senses at once. Once you get over your wits, you start to suffer difficulty then. To non-magical actions, which is fine if you want. You'd be at a +2 difficulty because you're looking at so many different aspects.
That's pretty rough. I probably would then just, if I can't just put up a general what's going on, then I probably would just focus on.
So you can maintain 3 senses with no issue.
Gotcha. All right, then that would probably be prime forces and mind.
Excellent. And go ahead and give me the Arte roll to kick those off too, which would be a 4.
Okay. 3 successes.
Awesome. So, you got 2 successes on your awareness.
Yep.
3 on your Arte. I'll get to what
Yep.
you see in a moment.
Okay.
Connor, you're absolutely sure that there was some magic going on up on that stage, or up in the ring. It's not hard to tell. I mean, it's possible that it's the person who just wound up on their back that is using the magic, but probably not.
Mhm.
Looks for all the world like it's probably that Max Mercury. As far as what Frank notices, you definitely notice the use of Force's magic in the ring, as well as some lingering mind effects. Very easily could be being used to pump the crowd or to read the crowd.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, you note another mind effect moving through the crowd to your left. It feels like it's moving kind of toward you.
Okay.
And if you look over in that direction,
Mm-hmm.
you see right next to you is a guy like chewing on a hot dog that looks very dissatisfied with his hot dog. But just just past them, you see this girl. Looks like the girl from the picture, blonde hair and freckles and a little bit nervous. Kind of like eyeing people as she's moving through the crowd. Oh, excuse me, pardon me, and then like every third or fourth person, she's picking their pocket.
Okay. Fascinating. Well, I'm certainly not gonna just grab her or approach her. So this is kind of the was this like the main event? Is this event going to be breaking up soon?
Yeah, I would assume Max is probably top of the ticket. So yeah, you're probably there's going to be a couple of things like probably about 20 minutes, 30 minutes of show left. Of like we're gonna bring out, do a couple of cut a couple promos, things like that. Maybe one more match, but yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much winding down.
So I will try and keep an eye on who I am presuming is Ella Anderson as she goes around pickpocketing people. Because that's kind of my highest priority. And then effectively just try and keep an eye on her, see who she is with, who she is leaving with. And because then I'm guessing there's probably some kind of a meet and greet after this for people to interact with their fans. So I can go talk to the obviously talented beyond normal wrestler later.
Excellent.
So indeed, while I'm rolling out of the ring, I also kind of covertly, I covertly walk over to one of the security guards around the ring, who tend to all be trainees of the company that they're currently with. And I lean into him and I say, "Hey, we got some pickpockets in the crowd, and I don't mean the boss's hired ones."
They nod. All right.
And I point to one side of the ring. I'm like, slow down that crowd when they leave. And if you happen to see some sort of nervous looking, skinny 13-year-old freckled blonde girl, see if you can move her over to the hospitality suite. Give her a VIP ticket.
Sure. Can do. They fan
and
out.
then I go back to like mugging for the crowd as I like then grab my shoulders and feign injury as I like fake limp back up the ramp back to the dressing room.
Excellent. You make your way back to the dressing room. Amid all this, is Connor doing anything?
I think he was yelling and cheering with the crowd until he realized something magical was going on and then went, this is the first other magical person that I've seen since I met my mentor, and also a little bit the people I had to interact with to get my probational license. Is it weird to go talk with them? I'm thinking about going to talk with them. Oh God, I'm going to do the most socially awkward thing and go and try and talk with them. Oh God, Connor, what is your life?
Do me a favor, Connor, since you're experiencing a little bit of social anxiety, why don't you go ahead and give me a wits and athletics roll at difficulty 6, please.
Don't have athletics, so it's
Excellent.
just
That's what I
going
love
to be
to
wits. 2 successes.
All right, you stand up. You're like, I'm going to do this. And you stand up and you stop just shy of stepping on this gentleman's toe who is like right next to where you're standing up from. And you look up and down.
Excuse me.
And Frank, are you wearing anything outwardly decorated or indicative of magic? Anything with visible signals on it or anything like that?
Not really anything that would be visible to like over his clothes. Like he's got like a medallion under his shirt and stuff. Yeah, no, nothing that really screams I am a mage.
Right on. Yeah, the two of you almost bump into each other, but Connor rights himself before he steps on your toe.
Okay.
Excuse me. Sorry about that.
No problem. Frank is obviously not paying attention to you. He's effectively like paying attention to other very distant people and like is really just trying to be minimally present as far as you are concerned.
Excellent. And
could I very quickly just make an alertness perception check to try and avoid the pickpockets on my way to Max?
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
And, if you'd like, you can rely on Streetwise if that's better for you.
I do not have Streetwise, so yeah, alertness perception. I figure Connor just takes pickpockets at an event for granted.
Sure. That's fair.
Okay, difficulty is still 6. Okay.
Yes.
So 2 successes.
Beautiful. You do manage to avoid them and in the process identify one more pickpocket. It looks like they're maybe 15, 16. They're wearing a leather jacket that's a little too big for them. Probably a little too worn for their age. And they're definitely carrying themselves in that sort of like projecting hardness kind of vibe.
Okay.
You know, the idea like they're very much trying to give off like a "don't mess with me, man.
Okay.
I'm dangerous" kind of a vibe that almost comes off a little sad because they're like you can see like places where they're trying very hard to grow in some facial hair, stuff like that. It's giving more of like a aw than it is like a oh that dude's scary.
Okay. I'm gonna fish in my pocket for like the loose dollar bills that I was given and just like try and take out like a 10 or a 20 and just like mostly avoiding that guy and then like tapping him on the shoulder and being like, here.
And he looks at you like he's terrified for a second. Tap him on the shoulder.
Here.
What's that for?
You.
For what? He takes it.
Have a better day. And I just pat him on the shoulder, turn around, and keep walking.
He scurries off. And at that moment, we're going to go ahead and take 5 for technological and biological needs. Since we're doing a 3-hour stream, figure might as well take a break if that's all right with everybody there.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, if you're watching live, just hang out. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. If you're watching on the VOD later on, hit fast forward till you see us return. We'll see you momentarily. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are here for the remainder of our Lore of the Traditions actual play. When we broke for tech, we had the group had just sort of discovered that there were the pickpockets out in the crowd. Max was making their way back to the dressing room. Connor was trying to make his way to Max, and Frank was kind of just taking in the environment still. And Connor had given a $20 bill to one of the pickpockets.
He'll remember that later.
He will remember that later. There's no doubt there. So, Connor, how would you like to try to get backstage?
I part-time bounce a bar. I'm gonna talk to security.
Okay.
Because ultimately they're the ones who have to lay down the law whenever anybody's like a little bit too hard about the talent. So figure just approach them as another industry person, be like, hey, I work as a bouncer in the town that I bounce a bar at. How do you get jobs at these kinds of promotions, and like try and develop a little bit of rapport before being like, also, could I see that one person?
Okay. Go ahead and give me like let's do manipulation, and let's do what would you say?
Would this be empathy or?
Empathy could work. Performance could work, I suppose.
I have empathy and I don't have performance, and I'm not using intimidation. So
persuasion would probably be fine. But...
yeah. Let's see. Do I? No, I do not. Okay, so manipulation, empathy, difficulty 6.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Cool. 3 9s, 3 successes.
Excellent. So you're talking with them for a good solid few minutes before you bring up the subject. And you're like, "Oh, I'd really like to go back and meet Max." And they're like, "Yeah, we can probably arrange that. There's not much time left. Let me go back first though and make sure everything's cool."
Yeah, of course.
One of the guards kind of walks off. While that's going on, is Frank doing anything out in the crowd? Because that's going to be a couple of minutes of conversation.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm gonna try and subtly keep an eye on Ella. You know, if it looks like she's getting ready to leave, I'm trying to mark who she's leaving with and how. Like I said, I'm also just kind of trying to keep an eye on the crowd with the mind of when, you know, if there is some kind of meet and greet, I do want to, you know, at least check in with the other person who is probably certainly a mage that I ID'd earlier. Knowing that she's here and that there is knowing that there's actually a couple people that I might want to subtly get in contact with, I am going to kind of, if I can kind of see that no one's really paying attention to me, I'm going to maybe duck behind something pretty quickly, do a little bit of quick gesturing and incantation in Latin, and attempt to turn on a rote that I'm calling Whisper Wind, which will give me the ability to use forces and well, actually mostly just forces to be able to throw my voice, to be able to whisper and have it be amplified in a specific person's ears. I can maybe throw some mind into that if it's necessary.
Don't imagine it would be. Yeah. I mean, if it's really just like, I'm going to whisper into your ear from...
Yeah, no, that's basically what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be fine. Just do bear in mind if you do that to a sleeper, that's going to potentially invite paradox.
Yeah, no,
Depending on the
I'm not
circumstances.
intending to. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Yeah, go ahead and give me just a straight up RT roll. It would be difficulty 5 because it's forces 2.
2 successes.
All right. That'll be enough to get you through the remainder of the scene.
Okay.
With that ability, no problem. As you're keeping an eye on the crowd, you do notice that this boy come walk up to Ella and sort of tap her on the shoulder, and they start whispering back and forth. And he like holds out like a $20 bill at her.
Okay.
And they start to like kind of look around a little bit, like maybe they're gonna be gathering their people. But I'll get back to you momentarily. I'll let you sit with that for a moment. Max, what are you doing backstage?
I'm sure at a promotion like this, the dressing room is pretty makeshift. I'm slumping down in some chair that maybe, if I'm lucky, has a mirror to go with it. And, you know, it's toweling off the sweat, it's getting my hair back, starting to like sponge off some of the now heavily smeared glam makeup. And just sort of like slumping down, tired, like ring rashed, you know, that suplex basically leaves like rug burn on your back every time. And just sort of like listening to the sounds of the crowd backstage and sort of just like thinking on, you know, that's what I'm doing it for, that sound right there.
Excellent. As you're sort of just taking a moment to kind of appreciate and internalize the fruit of your labor, security comes and knocks on the door, quote unquote, of your dressing room. It's more of like a curtain that's been pulled over the section of this back area that's been roped off and curtained up, more than an actual room. But they do rap on one of the poles before they pull the curtain over. Hey, there's 2 things. One, some guy out front that was very excited to talk to you. Seems like he's not, dangerous. But 2, we've been keeping an eye on those that kid you pointed out. It looks like there's a couple other kids with them. You want us to just snag them all up?
There's one of them that seems like she's probably just mixed up in the mess, and I'm not wanting to turn her over to cops. She doesn't need to be in juvie over this sort of thing. But I don't know. There's something about her. If there's any way you can blow some smoke on her and tell her she's got some sort of VIP backstage opportunity or something, like maybe I can reach her before this turns into something bad.
Well, I mean, you want us to just get the others? We can get her back here, get the others rounded up, call a cop, take care of them, and just neglect to mention that she's backstage.
That doesn't seem like a bad strategy to me.
Cool. You want me to send this guy back?
Yeah, and Mikey, thanks for keeping an eye on things. You really work hard for this promotion.
I mean, I am well compensated with my $11.50 an hour. So he walks away.
Yeah. I laugh as he's walking away. I'm like, yeah, we're all living the dream here.
Somebody's, and he walks off. He comes out and says, "Oh yeah, go on back. You're good. You just take a right at the horse stall, and you'll see where the dressing room is set up."
Gotcha. Thank you so much, man.
He goes out and starts signaling to the other guards. You step backstage. Frank, go ahead and give me just a perception and awareness or security if you have that trait. Or alertness, I'm sorry, or security if you have that trait. 3 successes? All right. So as you're looking around, you see the security guard kind of like doing some quick hand signs to the other security guards, and they all sort of like triangulate around this now 3 kids that are sitting there talking, and sort of start moving in on them.
Anton, you are muted.
That would be why you were questioning my 3 successes.
And that would be why I was questioning your 3
Because
successes.
you were just going off of my finger gestures. Okay,
Yes.
all right, yeah. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Okay. Okay. Well, in that case, I will whisper to Ella Anderson.
Okay.
Security is on to you. You need to scatter.
She looks over at her friends. Move.
I basically say, guy, at the end of row 5, guy 6 rows down, guy, effectively pointing out the security guys in, as a whisper in her ear.
She starts whispering to her friends, and they all split. You see the security guards all start to like split to try to compensate.
Okay.
You can see that she's mouthing words, but you have no idea what they are.
Yeah. How hard would it be to effectively make this, forces whisper effect bidirectional?
Like a 2-way, you just need to get another success. So you need
Okay.
you would need to cast some more, but that's.
Yeah, I will try and do that. Hopefully no one's paying attention to me as I do weird gestures and.
There's a lot going on here, so
you're a little bit.
You're pretty sure you're not in any trouble yet?
I can assure you, if you tried to do an LBRP in the middle of a wrestling crowd, nobody would even notice.
That was difficulty 5 again?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just imagining somebody doing the LBRP as a wrestling chant, just getting the whole crowd going, "Oh yeah."
Well, this is not going to last forever, but for now, I got 3 successes.
Excellent. Yeah, you immediately pick up like Morpheus. What?
Hello, Mrs. Anderson.
Close enough, but no.
Who is this, and what do you want?
My name's Frank, and right now I want you to not get nailed by security because I'd like to talk to you later.
Okay.
I continue to update directions as.
I don't know that I trust you a whole lot. You're helping and all, but that's lovely.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's get through this whole security issue first, and then we can not trust each other.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, walk me out of here, I guess. Why don't you go ahead and roll a let's do charisma and security to see if you can accurately walk her through without
okay.
so not lose her while you are also keeping track of the movements.
Ugh. Yeah. Like I said, I don't have security. Can I use Streetwise for that?
Security, or yeah, Streetwise is fine. Yes, absolutely. Sorry.
All right. Charisma and Streetwise. You know what? This seems important. I'm going to willpower this. It would be really awkward if I walked her right into a guard.
That would be funny.
I mean, it would be funny, but it would be really bad for the long-term relationship. Okay. So that is 3 plus the willpower.
Excellent. Where would you can pretty much get her to any point, either inside or outside this building you would like. You want to take her outside, or do you want to move her somewhere inside?
Is there going to be like a
the closest thing
is there
like
a designated meet and greet?
Oftentimes is like hang out by the buses and try to catch a signature.
Gotcha.
Probably more the speed of this level.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, then I will try and see if I can get her, effectively past security, towards that bus area, because
Okay.
that seems like where she's gonna kind of want to go anyways. And hopefully, so I mean, I'm certainly not above like using the other members of her group as sacrificial lambs.
Beautiful.
If there's enough of them that that can distract security. I'm not giving them directions, but
Sure.
if
if they get got, they get got. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You get her to the point where she is out of your view.
Okay.
And that's pretty much the end of the effect for you, unless you start heading that direction.
I mean, I will probably try and move to keep in line of sight of her as much as I can.
All right, you're following along with her and get out sort of out of a side door, like a fire exit. None of the exits here seem to be alarmed. So you go out through the fire exit, and you're out back where the buses and everything are parked. You can see there are some stagehands kind of prepping for the loadout, and I will get back to you in a moment.
Okay.
So, Connor, you get up to to Max's dressing area. What would you like to do?
Knock, 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 knock on just the first available hard surface.
All right, you see the pole start to like jiggle that's holding up the curtain that is your door.
Yeah, come on in. And like as you walk in, like I'm turning around in the chair, like still rubbing my face with like a big white towel, and there's this like you see a mixture of like damp glitter and very small amounts of blood like on it as I'm like rubbing my face down.
Okay. I would like to do a spirit sensory effect using eye contact, and because this is very stressful for me, ordeals.
Sure.
Just to like try and confirm what I think I know.
Go ahead and roll Arte.
Okay.
Difficulty 4.
The difficulty means anything above it or meets it or beats it?
Meets or beats.
Okay, 3 successes.
Excellent. You're not currently using any spirit magic, right?
I don't have anything.
Max,
I'm sorry.
I don't even have dots in spirit.
Yeah, I mean, you don't notice anything particularly unusual. If you're trying to do like an aura read, I don't think there's any active magic going on right now. Max can correct me if I'm wrong.
Nothing like that. I mean, I suppose you might be able to pick up bits of my avatar, which actually just sounds like I have my own personal crowd constantly like cheering. Or
so a bit of crowd walla in a place that's full of crowd walla. It's really nothing that's gonna like. You might get a slight tingle that maybe there's something a bit different about this person, but there's certainly no like beacons light up, and they don't have a fox superimposed on them. So there's
that part's good.
I mean, despite the fact that I have a fox superimposed. But
if Max had that tattoo, that would be funny.
Hi.
Hey.
You don't know me, and my name is Connor Graves. I've never seen your work before, but I'm a big fan after tonight.
Well, that's exciting. I mean, so if Mikey brings somebody back, they're usually like a blogger, vlogger, or they're a scout, or a booker, or somebody working for them. And if you weren't a fan of me before, then we can go ahead and rule out bloggers. So this is starting to sound like a pretty good night.
Yeah, I bounce a bar down back in my hometown. So connected with security over that.
Okay. Yeah.
I heard somebody mentioning that the pay was not great, which is, Yeah, that's the economy. But I had a specific, I don't know how to ask this question.
Well, the best way to ask the question is to just go ahead.
Okay. And Connor snaps his fingers and using elementalism creates sparks above his finger with the snap.
Awesome. So that will be a Forces 2. That will be a Vulgar without witnesses. So
Yeah.
you will go ahead and roll at difficulty 6.
Oh, this will be so awkward if it doesn't work. Okay.
I mean, it'll be funny.
And it didn't because I botched.
Excellent.
One botch.
You snap your fingers. As you snap your fingers, your actual hand catches fire.
Oh, fuck. Connor just like dive bombs his whole chest onto it, trying to put it out with his body.
And you suffer a level of lethal damage.
Oh, no.
And you need to mark your botch level paradox too.
Right.
Okay.
You don't need to keep the paradox because you just burnt it onto your hand.
Oh,
yeah.
So, like I kind of butt in and say, no, it's okay. And I grab like a completely free, like clean and fresh, like hand towel or, white towel and like wrap the burned hand in it. And, oh, wait, is life 3 enough to heal other people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's
2
where
for
this,
yourself, 3 for others.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's where I'm headed with this.
All right, this will be Vulgar without witnesses because you're trying to heal damage due to paradox.
Yeah, definitely will accept that. But I roll the hand towel up around it. So this actually qualifies under my instrument of tricks, gimmicks, and illusions. And I wrap it up and like attempt to heal the hand.
Okay, sure. Let's do it. Go ahead and give me that RT roll at difficulty 6. No,
difficulty 6.
7. I'm sorry. It's Vulgar without witnesses.
Yes, difficulty 7. We've had enough botching for one scene. I'll take a willpower damage on this.
I've heard worse plans.
So I've got an 8 and a 0. Are you doubling the zeros or are you exploding them?
It's 2 successes, and it's normally only if you have a specialty, but for RT rolls, I always do it. So
okay.
So it counts as 2.
Yeah.
So that's 3.
So that's 3 on the dice plus the willpower is 4.
Excellent. So I never remember.
And I'm like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
All right, you light it off. Now, each of you should have 1 paradox in your pattern for doing a non-witnessed vulgar spell. The paradox that you gained from botching, you burned immediately as you burned your hand, and you do heal the damage to the fingers miraculously. However, among those senses that Frank said that he was kicking up was prime, right?
Yes.
You absolutely feel like the screech of someone pulling the record needle across reality a couple of times, not too far from you.
Frank, elsewhere. This is why I don't hang out with other mages.
Yeah, it's a definite unsettling
Ooh, that's not great. Okay.
And more to the point, you see Ella turn in that direction. And she looks scared. When she felt the paradox. And looks like she's frightened about it.
You want to check that out, don't you?
Kind of.
I will say to her,
I would like to be away from it. That would be good.
Okay. All right. Well, where she is now, it's probably a much smaller crowd, so it's going to be kind of harder for me to maintain this dude talking in the distance thing without her noticing me.
Right, there's not even really so much a crowd. She's kind of up against, there's some pallets that are stacked up. Looks like maybe there's going to be a craft fair here once the wrestlers move out. And she's kind of by that stack of pallets that looks like it's going to be rolled out later, just kind of with her back to the pallets, looking around for you.
Okay, that's not me. I understand your impulse. I would like to have a chat with you. So I'm going to come face to face. I'm not going to lie to you because I'm bad at lying. As I would love for you to not run away or disappear or hit me with some kind of mind whammy. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah. Yeah, please do come out.
Okay. I will, effectively break cover of the crowd and start to walk towards her, trying to be as non-threatening as possible.
She does absolutely pull something out of the front pocket of her pants, which appears to be maybe about cell phone sized. Why don't you go ahead and roll perception technology, or perception and streetwise would be fine too.
Okay. One. Yeah. That ends up. Oh wait, difficulty 6.
Yep.
Okay, so 1 success.
It is definitely a taser.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not gonna like walk right up to her. I'm gonna maintain a respectful distance, social distancing, as it were.
I'm approaching respectfully.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. She's just got her hand on it. She's not like firing it off as you walk up, but she's.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I mean. Okay. Hey. I am guessing that you are Ella. My name is Frank. I think we already did that, right?
Yeah. Hi, Frank. Did my parents send you?
No. But full disclosure, someone who knows your parents did.
So you're one of them.
A couple steps removed, I think. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by one of them, but
the conspiracy, the weird stuff my parents are into, their cult.
I am not a member of the conspiracy that your parents are a member of. I am possibly loosely affiliated with a completely different cult.
Oh, that makes me feel so much better.
I said I'd be honest, right?
I appreciate your honesty. My ride's going to be here real soon, so what do you want?
Well, that's an excellent question. What do I want? I want to talk to you. I want to see how things are going for you. Eventually, I think probably it would be best for everyone if you at least had a talk with your parents. But we can maybe get there longer term.
Listen, you don't know me. You don't know anything about me. You don't know anything about my life, okay? I don't know anything about my life because everything I thought I knew turns out to be bullshit.
But I might know a little bit more about your life than you do at this point. Because I can talk to people in whispers like across a crowded room.
Great, you got superpowers. That's awesome.
Yep, it is. I mean...
Apparently, so do my parents. Apparently, I do too, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But not everyone, right? So that means we've got more in common than, say, you and random other person.
Okay. It doesn't.
And if it makes you feel better, I have spent a lot of time avoiding the notice of specifically the people that your parents work for. So.
Okay. That is better. Getting warmer. Listen, I found somebody who's going to help me. Okay.
Okay.
And they've been helping me, which is a lot more than I can say for anybody else. My parents just lied to me, and then as soon as I started finding things out and realizing what was going on, they wanted to ship me off to some boarding school. And if I'm going to lose my friends and my life, then I'm going to do it on my terms.
Okay, so you're gonna bail on your previous friends and become part of a pickpocket ring? I mean, I'll be honest, it is probably better than going off to boarding school, because I went that route and it went some shitty places.
I mean, some of my friends are how I got hooked up with this group. So
Okay.
it's, it's whatever. It's fine.
I mean, you did almost get pinched by security, except that there was, some weirdo dude who helped you out with that.
Okay, sure, but we had a plan for that.
Oh. Okay.
Like,
well, that's good.
We're not just helpless. We know stuff. We got plans and things.
I'm not implying that you're helpless. I guess it's good that you've got plans.
Let's pause that for a moment. I'll let you consider what your next move is.
All right.
Back in there, Max, you're like wiping the burnt flesh off with the towel. And
like I kind of with like a magician's flourish, kind of like pull it off, like completely rolled. And there's, I mean, you probably could tell from the subsiding throbbing in your hand that, healing had taken place, but I pull it off. And then like, I don't let you see what's in the towel. I just sort of like throw it immediately off in a corner. And I say, okay, well, now that we've got that out of the way,
wow.
What can Max Mercury do for you?
Oh God. Sorry, I'm very new to this still. Do you talk to the Morrigan too? My mentor didn't, but Morrigan, I don't know what's normal.
No, I've heard of the Morrigan. They're a great tag team, but I've never wrestled them before.
I wouldn't recommend it, just personally.
They do this amazing hardcore match. They call it a cauldron match.
I have so many questions I'm going to have to ask them later. Oh God. Wait, are you talking about a tag team of people who do a thing or?
Yeah, no, they've been working the Pacific Northwest. You haven't, that's right. You're new to this. No, I thought you were talking about the tag team.
In a way, they are a tag team, but also in the worst way.
At that precise moment, Max's cell phone, you get a text.
And what, pray tell, does it say?
It's security. I say, good news, bad news. The other kids are gathered up. We can't find the girl, and there's a cop here to pick them up. But they were like here when we got ready to call.
All right, so I'm gonna cut to the quick of things with this. You're like me.
Yes.
So let's drop all of the nervous pretenses about this. I was out there working with Crusher, and somewhere in that crowd. First of all, did you eat one of the hot dogs?
I tried.
Yeah, don't eat the hot dogs at a Midwest pop-up wrestling show. Just don't.
Okay.
You probably
this is a
that
lesson that I will take home and shit violently later.
So I picked that up. Man, that was really distracting. But I picked that up. But while Crusher and I were working in the ring, in this little pickpocket ring that was going around, just some miscreant kids.
Yeah, I spotted one of them. Yeah,
there was one of them that she was giving me a vibe, man. Like she was
she
reminded me of me. She reminded me of me when I was, younger, and just I was trying to get security to maybe like pick her up because like I don't want her going down the wrong road. I thought maybe Magic Max Mercury, cut a little promo, like set her straight, that sort of thing. I do that for the kids, and it looks like she got away. And
I mean, maybe you think she'd still be hanging out with her friends?
Well, they said they rounded her friends up and like they're hauling her off to the authorities.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, do you know anything about this?
No, I just saw some of the kids, figured pickpockets are probably not that unusual at a promotion. I don't know. Like I said, I bounce a bar. We have to deal with this stuff a lot. I gave one of them a 20. I could hang on. Maybe let me try something. And I want to take out the other wad of bills that was in my pocket with the one that I gave to the kid.
Okay.
And I want to try and use a matter spirit time effect to track the bill that I gave. Wait, well, I don't have correspondence, so I don't know if I can actually track it.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to move it. You wouldn't be able to track it if it was outside of your immediate vicinity.
Okay.
If you walked, you could go walk its path.
Yeah, that was kind of what I wanted to try and do.
You wouldn't need correspondence for that. As long as you're physically moving along the path that it moved, you could track it theoretically.
Yeah. Okay. I want to try and do that.
What's your time?
I have time 1.
Okay,
enough for perception.
You'd need time 2 for that.
Ah, dang it. Okay.
However, if you did speak this out loud to someone who is in the room that might have time to, you might be able to work together.
Yeah. Do you do the stuff where time is different, like Doctor Who-y stuff?
No, that was I got this mentor down in California, Fabulous Frank Duke. That was his big.
Okay, so too far away from us to be helpful right now. Got it.
But no, I don't do that.
Okay.
While you're thinking about that, your phone rings again. Did you have something you're gonna do, Max?
Oh no, go ahead. The phone rings.
This time your phone actually rings. It's not a text. It's Mike from security.
It's Mike from security. Mike, tell me.
Hey, this is a little weird. This cop put all those kids in the back seat of his car, and then told them to wait. Told us not to worry about it. He'd take care of the girl, and is now walking the grounds.
All right, that does sound pretty messed up, man.
Yeah, right? That seems a little much.
Where are you now? Do you have eyes on this?
I got eyes on the kids. They're sitting in the back of the squad. I sent Joey to try to trail the cop without, letting them know that he trailed the cop.
All right, that's stellar work, man. Way more than what they're paying you for. I tell you what, I'm coming to you then, and if Joey gives you any news, like you can tell us when we get there. It's not that long a walk.
All right, cool.
Sorry, no, there's no point in asking. I was going to ask a question, like, did I pick up the cop who pulled me over? Did I pick up his
his name?
His like either his name number? Or his like a badge number.
Go ahead and give me let's do just like I guess a straight up wits roll to see if you recall it. If there's a skill that would come to mind that you can think of,
I have investigation.
Let's do wits investigation. See if you bothered to grab it and retain it.
Okay.
It's gonna be difficulty 8 though, because it was a stressful situation.
Okay. 2 successes.
Yeah, you absolutely remember. His badge number was 1138. His name is Officer. Officer, I have it written down here somewhere. Jackson.
Officer Jackson. Okay. Then I'm gonna real quick turn to Max and be like, "Hey, there's cop trouble."
Yeah, It looks like the cops are getting weird about these kids.
They're getting okay. Is it Officer Jackson?
I tell you what, it's a short walk to Mikey. Let's go get it from the source.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I throw an extra towel around my neck, and we start strolling out.
All right, you two start making your way to the front. It's like a couple-minute walk. It's not far, but we'll get back to what happens when you get there because we're going to jump back over to Frank. Frank, did you think of the next question you'd like to ask Ella, or the next thing you'd like to say?
Well, yeah. So, you said your ride's on the way. I tell you what. Like I said, I might know a little bit more about what's going on with your parents and various other new developments in your life than you might know. Why don't we use this time? You can ask me questions. I would be happy to fill you in on my understanding of how stuff works. I feel like it might be useful to you.
Okay, fine. What's a hemiophagic entity?
Wow. Hemiophagic entity. I don't know. Is there any chance that I would know that?
I mean, you could roll. You got lore.
Yeah,
technocracy lore.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
I mean, but you're a hermetic. You know Latin, right?
I do know.
That's
I mean,
true.
I actually speak Latin.
Yeah. So
that's true.
a
I mean, I can
blood-eating
probably
entity.
guess from context that that's a vampire.
It's a fair guess. Yeah.
It sounds to me like what the people your parents work for would call a vampire.
Say what?
A vampire. Live
Like-
forever, drink blood, don't go out during the daylight mostly. You haven't run into any of those, have you?
No.
That would be
But my
okay.
parents, I found among other things, emails between my parents and somebody that they referred to as their supervisor about hunting a hemiophagic entity and about killing it and all this.
Yeah. Hemiophagic entity sounds like a vampire. Hunting vampires kind of sounds like the kind of thing that your parents' organization would get up to. They generally just don't like people who make messes.
Am I a vampire slayer? I have this weird third nipple thing.
I am like a 40-something-year-old dude, so I would appreciate it if you did not show me any of your nipples in public.
Oh, yeah, fair. That's makes point. Yeah.
I mean, I think you could be a vampire slayer, although that is sometimes that's a real short ride. If you wanted to get into that line of work,
I mean, no, that sounds terrible.
it does sound terrible. It is
to be a
terrible.
normal
Vampires
child.
are terrible.
I just wanna
You should
have
avoid them.
A normal life, and my parents are killing people.
Vampires are. It's a stretch to call them people, but okay, fair point.
Right,
That's
folks,
cool.
prejudice is alive and well in the hermetic order.
If there's a tradition that's going to have an opinion on vampires.
Well, I mean, it would probably be the verbatim, but second place would be the Order of Hermes. Okay, I mean, yeah, I understand wanting to be a kid. That's cool. I mean,
They also have industrial espionage type stuff in their email. There was all kinds of stuff in there.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Your parents are part of an organization that gets up to some shady stuff.
I don't want to do shady stuff. I certainly don't want to go to shady stuff boarding school.
Okay, no, that's
that
fair.
Doesn't sound fun.
That yeah. I mean,
And they
there's
said
some
that
perks,
I'd
probably,
become
but-
enlightened, and so I needed to go be with other enlightened children. I don't know what that means.
yeah. I mean, it means that they want you to be somewhere with other people who are inclined towards that skill
I know
set,
what
so you
words
can learn
mean.
to do stuff. All right. So, okay. Sorry. You're right. I apologize, right? So your parents' organization and a couple of other organizations do run various schools, training camps, occasionally boot camps, depending on who you are.
Oh, great.
Yeah, well, a lot of these organizations then like take those trainees and have them fight each other for reasons that once upon a time seemed very important.
Oh, great. So like it's vampire hunting and the Hunger Games all rolled into one. Can't wait. Where do I sign up?
Well, I'm certainly not a recruitment officer, so not with me.
Well, it's good because you're doing a really terrible job of trying to make this sound like remotely a good idea.
Well, I'm not trying to make signing up with anyone sound like a good idea. What I am trying to do is maybe help you get a better sense of what's going on before you get wrapped up in anything. Because, smaller organizations are also going to try you to sign up for stuff like stealing cash. And, you should go into that with your eyes open too.
Listen, we're just doing what we can do so that we can make sure that we've got enough food, and so that we can, and we've got an angle. We got it covered.
I mean, if all you want is food, that's easier. All right.
Well, I mean, it's not just food. It's
a place to live.
Yeah, we've got an angle.
Creature comforts.
We've got an inn.
You've got an inn?
Yeah.
An inn for what? So like I said,
yes,
supplying all those things with the talents you seem to be displaying, if all you want to do is do that and stay off the grid, I'm not going to say it's easy, but engaging in minor crimes is just going to attract more attention to yourself.
That's my point. I'm not worried about the crime. I'll be right back with you in just a moment. Okay. Max and Connor arrive at the front door. You see the cop car parked out, pulled up against the side of the road right by where the first pull into the parking lot is.
It's the same car?
Lights are still going, same car.
Okay.
3 kids sitting in the back seat. Mike is still standing by the front door, he's got the radio in his hand as you two walk up. Hey, what's happening?
All right, Mikey. So they piled them all up in the squatties, and you said one of them went off, like without a partner or anything.
No, it's just one cop showed up. And here's the thing, like that one cop was here. Like they were already parked outside. They just kind of came up, grabbed the kids, put them in the back.
They already parked outside. So, I mean, we always have to keep a cop or two around for, crowd control and observation. Yeah. Were they assigned to us, or is this something else?
They're not working the show, man. They were just here. And I mean, I didn't even see them pull in. They were just here.
Can I walk up to the car and just put a hand on it and like use elementalism and my matter spheres to try and figure out whether this has been modified to be a cop car?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Go ahead and make a RT roll at 4.
Okay. Yep. 2 successes.
No, this cop car has not had any matter magic used on it at all.
Okay. I was mostly just trying to figure out whether, like, this is not a cop car, but it's been made to look like a cop car.
Yeah, and as far as you can tell, there's been no magic whatsoever used on it within the realm of your spheres.
Well, not just magic, but like physical modifications. But yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. No. It's not like a, like a pacer that's been painted to look like a cop car or something.
Yeah, okay. All right. For better or worse, this is a legitimate cop. Okay.
Yeah, it seems to be.
Okay.
Maggie says, yeah, they just pulled up, like they just were here. I mean, I've been chasing, pickpockets, so I might not have seen them pull up. But yeah, the guy identified himself, Officer Jackson, flashed his badge, and just said, not to worry about it. He was going to go get the girl, and that he had it all covered, which struck me as a bit odd. Cops tend to not be that excited about grabbing a pickpocket, B, not be doing it alone, and C, more than willing to let us do the footwork.
So something's up.
Yeah, something's a bit unusual about this whole state of affairs, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Max, can I quietly? I saw this cop earlier today. He pulled me over. He had some kind of tall, gangly, top-hatted fox thing curled up into him. Like, I blew it out of him, but like I didn't have anything to keep it from coming back. So
look, I've been around the block enough to know that there aren't a whole lot of coincidences in my line of work.
Connor just like stands there staring at Max for a second and then takes out his phone and opens notes and is trying to like, there aren't a lot of coincidences in my line of work.
I love it.
So, Mikey, you said Joey was off trying to keep an eye on our friend Officer Jackson.
Yeah, absolutely. I got him on.
Yeah, has he got anything? He said anything to you? Do we have any idea where this guy is?
I haven't heard anything. Hey, Joey, it's Mikey. Check in.
Which way did Joey go?
Hey, Joey, it's Mikey. Check in. You went around that way.
Cool. I take off running.
And I follow.
Excellent. The two of you run about halfway around to where the trucks are parked. And you see this, Joey is unconscious, but breathing and everything. And doesn't appear to be physically harmed.
Cool. I keep running. I'm trying to find the cop. I'm like, he's not dead? Not my job. Great.
Are you going to stop and observe what's going on with Joey?
Yeah, so I actually get down and take a knee, and I kind of like dramatically like grab him up by like whatever equivalent of like shirt collar or shirt front he's got on, and I'm like start doing this dramatic like, Joey, you gotta wake up, man. Gotta wake up. Joey, you gotta wake up. You gotta tag me in, man. You gotta tag me in, buddy. Like, come on, Joey. Come on. And I'm trying to like pump him up to become like lucid enough to actually talk to.
Excellent. Are you using life, mind? What's your approach to this?
It could be either. So I think I've got dots to cover it on either side.
Okay.
I think my voice and vocalizations, I think, is more of a mind effect. So
Sure.
We'll call it that.
Okay. Let's do a mind 2.
Mind 2, I think, is totally legit.
It's going to be absolutely coincidental. You're just talking to somebody and making them wake up. That's
all right.
Might be the most coincidental thing that's been cast so far.
Oh, that is a failure. At least it's not a botch.
Excellent. You shake him and nothing. You do sense that the unconsciousness absolutely appears to be like physically he seems totally fine. You get the impression that someone drained him of emotional energy to the point that he passed out.
This is serious. Wait up, pal. Wait up.
So, cutting back over to Frank, she's like, I got an angle. I got to cover. I'm not worried about the crime. Just then, you hear someone shout her name. You hear Ella, off in the distance.
Is that someone you recognize?
She nods. You see a cop come walking up.
Is that still someone you recognize?
She says, "Yeah, I told you I have an angle.
What sort of angle?
He's helping us out. The cop walks over and says, "Is this guy giving you a hard time, ma'am?" Ella. Now, what senses all do you have active right now?
I believe it was forces, mind, and prime.
All right. You can definitely, like, this thing is, the resonance pouring off of this cop is poison. It is raw death coming off of this cop. With mind, you can distinctly tell that there is a very agitated and very weak mental presence, sort of scratching at the inside of the overall mind that is piloting this person around.
Okay.
And right about then, you hear "Wait up" in the background.
So he asked her a question.
Yes.
There's other stuff going on.
Yep. And she says, "No, he's trying to help too. He was a friend of. How do you know my parents?"
I don't actually. I know someone they know. It's a kind of a small community.
At this point, Connor rounds the corner.
Okay.
And sees the cop, the girl, the guy you almost stepped on, all standing around.
Okay. I still have spirit open. So is the cop inhabited again?
Absolutely.
God damn it. Connor just continuing to run, going, okay.
So you're
stupid decision number 2 of the day.
Running at the cop?
I'm gonna sprint punch the cop in the face to send the spirit flying out of him.
Excellent. As you dash forward, that's right when Max comes around the corner. So let's go ahead and just have everybody roll a d10 and add it to the sum of your dexterity plus wits.
Okay.
So 10 and 5 is 15 for me.
Okay.
I rolled amazingly well. I'm also on 15.
Excellent.
So glad I got a 10 on that. Not something I really care about.
And I had an 8, and the sum of my dexterity and wits is 7, so 15.
Excellent. All 3 of you are going first. So you may decide who you would like to give the first action to. You absolutely do clock. All of you can clock that the cop like turns as Connor's just running at him like the water boy, like Adam Sandler, just and so, you can. The cop's definitely going to go for his sidearm, but he's not. He's certainly moving slower than the rest of you.
So I was definitely like tactically last on the scene, right? Absolutely. So I think it's only fair that I go last.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say, since I'm doing the dumbest thing, as a courtesy, everyone else should go before me.
Oh, no. I was going to say, you should do your dumb thing first, and the rest of us can react.
Okay. All right.
All right. Let's do it.
I've been outvoted. Here we go.
So you're going to use this this punch as your focus.
Yes.
For a force's spirit effect to literally push the person out.
Yes. And to try and send it flying as far away as I can, because I want to yeet this thing into nowhere.
Let's get a strength or dexterity plus brawl for that hit.
Okay, dex brawl. Because I'm not trying to hit him hard, I'm trying to hit accurately. It'd be cooler if I didn't break his jaw with this punch.
That's fair. Yeah, you're trying to like surgically.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt you.
I'm trying to hurt the thing that's leeching off you. Okay, what is the difficulty?
6.
6. Okay. 2 successes.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll your strength real quick for me.
Okay, strength is 3. Oh, good. No successes, 1 botch.
Excellent. No, it's fine. We're just seeing if you stack any extra damage.
Okay.
Now you may roll your RXA.
Okay. Difficulty is
5, because this is technically fun.
Cool. I'm going to use a willpower. No successes.
Excellent.
Except for the willpower. So 1 success.
Excellent. So you punch and you hit the cop, and he spits out a little bit of blood. And you see the fox form like leap out, jump around his back, and fall back inside of him. So it wasn't enough to get the distance. You did get him clear of the body, but you didn't get the distance.
Okay.
So that will bring us to whoever would like to take the next. I guess we're gonna go with Frank since Max is the last one on the scene. So
Okay, so all right. I hate to do this. I look directly at Ella, and I don't really know what she can do. I'm not going to project anything. I'm basically going to try to open my mind to her so that with direct eye contact, she can see exactly what's going on in my head. And I'm going to say, I don't know them. We should book. And basically just trying to make myself completely open so she will buy, well, not buy, but understand that I desperately want the both of us away from whatever craziness is about to go down.
All right. Are you, in terms of opening, are you saying like you're going to open your mind?
Yes.
Okay. I would like you to go ahead. Let's just go ahead and do a Arete at 5.
Okay. 2 successes.
Excellent. Okay. I have some not great news for you. I also have some good news for you. The good news is you connect to her mind.
Oh, good. That's not great. Okay. That's not good. That's the good news.
The bad news is that you and she both accumulate 5 points of paradox. As what Max sees as the initiative falls to Max is Ella and this gentleman that was speaking to her collapse.
Okay.
Fall over.
Okay. So yeah, I'm like Max is coming in on a scene where a strange person that he just met, that he knows is also enlightened, punched weirdo cop. So I see a punched weirdo cop and 2 people completely disconnected to it, like collapsing. So in fact, actually, the very first thing that
I did also say that out loud, so you might also have that.
Say what out loud?
I said, I don't know them. We should book. And then we collapsed.
To the girl who you do recognize.
To the girl.
I know where we'll be safe. Into the dreaming.
So I come sprinting in, and you can tell me if this is too much activity for one late arrival, but sure. The intention would be to actually come in and sort of like skidding in on one knee, like turning and cutting off any sort of like line of motion or attack or anything that the cop would have against Ella or against Frank.
Yeah, no, that's just imposing yourself in the way. Yeah.
Yeah, interposing, you know, and like if there was time, I might even begin to start like impressing myself against him, but like cutting him off and like taking away his ability to go after these 2 people who just collapsed.
Yeah, I mean, it's effectively
like first order of business.
It's effectively just movement. We've established you're close enough to get there in the span of a turn and still do something. So if you wanted to do something, be it physical or magical, to try to create an additional shielding, you can do.
Okay. Well, in that case, I would probably start a mundane grappling as well.
Okay, so you're going to grapple the cop.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead and make a strength and brawl or dex and brawl. Martial arts is fine too.
Yeah, I was going to do strength and martial arts.
Yeah, absolutely fine.
2 and 4. That's too many dice. There we go. So those cancel, and that leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Oh, you hem him up something fierce. The cop's not moving, that's for sure. You've got him grabbed up. He starts laughing and he says, "Who do you think they're going to believe when they get here?"
Right now, I don't care.
As you have that brief exchange, Frank, you're standing in like a gazebo. It's like a rectangular gazebo. There's a couple of flower pots. Everything has a very reddish tint to it, and there's water everywhere around you.
Like water, like this is a gazebo in the middle of a lake?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
And,
Is it just me?
Ella is sitting on a bench.
Okay.
On the other side of the gazebo from you.
Avoiding my previous openness, trying to act like this does not faze me. So is this all you?
I just watched Endgame.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Are we dead?
I don't think so. I've never been dead, so I think it would be weird for us to end up somewhere together if we were both dead.
Okay, that tracks.
I will have to admit that I don't know where we are.
Oh, okay, that's comforting.
I didn't take us anywhere, so and if you just watched Endgame, I guess this was tied to that. Do you know any or all of those people that were back there?
The cop was looking out for us.
Looking out for you. Okay.
Yeah, he gave us a place to stay.
Mhm. In like a creepy haunted house?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, place to stay, food, keep the law off our back. That's the angle. We can do, petty crime, and he can just tell people that he arrested the people that were responsible for it.
And what did he get out of this?
Nothing. He said it made him feel good. He said it was emotionally nourishing.
Emotionally nourishing. I mean, okay. Does that sound like that's a story that ends anywhere good to you?
Well, okay. No.
Okay.
No, it's creepy.
Okay, it is.
But going to the stuff I saw, they talked about, I found emails about my mom having to go to some place called Room 101.
No, that doesn't sound good. Like something immediately happening or something that happened in the past. You know what? I don't.
It was a long time ago. It was
Okay.
But
yeah,
somebody had mentioned in one of the emails, like she had said she didn't want to have another visit to Room 101, and
that certainly doesn't sound good.
There was a side discussion about how it had been a long time since anything like that had happened, and that she wouldn't need to be worried.
Again, I think we may have a little bit of time here while stuff gets straightened out. That sometimes is how these things go. I am the last person, well, maybe the second to last person to tell you that the group your parents work for is cool or okay. But I am gonna say, look, I have never met that cop before, but I do not to sound too mystical and magical about it, but I do have a mystical magical ability to read people's auras, and there was some nasty stuff going on there. Nastier than your normal cop, which is, a thing.
I think he has 2 minds.
Okay, fair. Yeah, that tracks.
I don't know.
So
why.
whichever mind is driving is probably, I think, is kind of nasty.
Well, then maybe we should help him.
Yeah. I don't know that we can really do anything about that from here.
Oh, well, then we should get out of here.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
She stands up and looks around. How do we get out of here? I'll give you a moment to ponder that question. As we go back into initiative. Connor, what would you like to do?
Well, punching him one time didn't work. Now that I've established that I slap, I am going to once again try and exert spiritual pressure through like force of, well, no, again, I don't have mind sphere, so force of personality is hard to do. But basically, I'm trying to channel the terrifying aspect of the Morrigan whenever she shows up to a battle to be like, hey, I know you all showed up for a fight. You need to leave now.
The best way to do that through forces would be to verbalize it and use your forces magic to push it. However, that's going to start bridging onto vulgar because you're going to start using your voice to push forth enough force to theoretically move a person. So this is going to be vulgar, and there are people present. They're not looking at you yet, but this is going to draw their attention. So this is going to be vulgar, and it's going to be witnessed.
I think Connor is fresh enough at this that he doesn't think about that. He's like, there are people who need me, and this is a problem that I failed to solve earlier. I need to do something about this. So he's just going to dig deep. Can I ask my avatar for help on this roll?
You can certainly spend quintessence to lower its difficulty. That would be the aid your avatar would give you. So you have 2 left, I believe?
I have 2 left. I'm going to spend both.
Up to your avatar, so you can spend 2. So
and
that'll
then
bring your difficulty down to, so it would be 6 for 4, and then you can spend a willpower for a success if you'd like.
Yeah, but I also have the Blessing of the Morrigan, which for rolls on which the blessing would reasonably apply, it reduces the difficulty by the number of dots.
Okay, the most you can bring that difficulty down is to 3.
Cool. Okay. In that case, I have 3 dots of blessing, so I'll
4,
unspend the quintessence. Okay.
Yeah, the most you bring it down is to 4.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I've got him like held in this massive overwrought abdominal stretch and sort of like pivot him around so that totally facing you.
Okay.
And the moment I see like an inhale, I like duck my head down behind his.
If you would like, because you 2 are a forces mage, correct?
I am.
You can feel this energy building up. You can certainly contribute to it if you want, but be warned that would also bring you in line with the paradox too. Like that's going to call your attention.
I do suspect that Max wouldn't know that would work.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. So am I just doing straight arete?
Yep.
Okay.
Difficulty 4.
Cool. 5 successes.
Excellent. You gain 2 points of paradox, which breaks your permanent paradox, or makes your current paradox pool what?
Okay.
Should be like a 3 now, right?
I had 1 and I immediately burned it.
Right. And then you retained 1 just for botching. That would stay. So you should have a total of 3 right now, I believe.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry about that if I was unclear on that. So yeah, you have 3 paradox. It's not enough to kick off a backlash yet. You're in pretty good shape, and yeah, you absolutely scream at this thing. Everybody kind of outside sort of looks in your direction because you are wailing up a storm, and literally, And you blast this thing out of the body. It flies back probably about 30 or 40 feet.
Okay.
And that will bring us to Max. Max, you still have a hold of the cop. The cop looks up at you very confused. What would you like to do?
So I look down at him and just say, the mercury's rising, and when it falls, you will not get up. And there's actually a sort of rote for this in How Do You Do That called I Said Stay Down.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mind 2, and I'm basically trying to leave him subdued.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me an RT at 5. That's totally coincidental.
Yeah, I'll take a willpower on that too. Okay, so I've got a success in pocket plus 1 more for 2.
Excellent. That's more than sufficient to keep him down. He stays down. That brings us back to Connor. What would you like to do?
So the spirit is now distant.
Yes, it's like it's looking at you like it is not happy with.
I'm not happy with it either. So I'm just going to try and do a straight charisma intimidation roll of you don't belong here, and you know that you don't belong here. To remain is to suffer pain.
Roll it at difficulty 6. We'll see how willful this, how spiteful, how angst-filled this spirit might be.
Yeah. And 1 more willpower. Okay. 6. Well, with the willpower, it's 2 successes.
Okay. The spirit locks eyes with you and says, "We're not done here, you servant of a flying rat." And you hear
Connor smiles real big and is just like, she's gonna eat you alive.
You hear like whistling and like almost like a tornado level of wind. And only Connor can hear this because Connor's the only one that's got spirit, right? And this wind sort of like rips a hole in reality where the fox stands, and it goes dee, 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 and jumps into the hole.
Okay.
And the hole slams shut. Back inside the mind, Frank, you and Ella are sitting there, and you're standing there now. And she says, "I really don't know how to get out of here."
Okay. Well, I don't know where here is, but let me see if I can figure that out. One theory, the best case scenario is that we are inside one of our minds. So let me see if I can figure that out. And I'm going to take out some chalk, and I'm going to draw a circle around this gazebo, and I am going to try, write the names of some angels in Latin, and real quick, sloppy, and try to use mind and prying to see if I can trace back to our us, her mind or my mind. Effectively, I'm doing a test. Am I in one of those minds?
Excellent.
And if not, then we'll see.
We'll
go from there.
RT at 3.
Okay.
RT at 4. I'm sorry, difficulty 4.
Okay, that's 3 successes.
Excellent. You're fairly certain that you're in a mindscape of her creation.
Aha. Mindscape of her creation. Okay. All right. Well, the good news is I think you actually are the one who brought us here, which means probably you can take us back. The bad news is that you probably don't know how you got us here, so that's going to make it a little harder to bring us back, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I wanted us. You said we had to get away. I wanted us to be away, so now we're away.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. We are away, and I kind of meant more physically away, but I was not clear, so that's on me. Okay. I'm not super good at mind stuff. I'm better at figuring things out than doing. But if you don't mind, I would like to maybe using this kind of trace that I already set up, see if I can maybe read or kind of trace what you did. It's going to involve some kind of intense eye staring, and I'm going to mumble in some weird languages. And
we're in here. Might as well do it.
Okay. All right. All right, so let's just both sit, kind of meditation style here like this. This is probably not how anyone that your parents would introduce you to do this kind of stuff, but so maybe.
I mean, my mom does yoga. It makes sense.
Okay, sure. We'll go with that. If it works. That's something that the people that I work with would never ever say. So we'll just, all right. All right. So I'm, establishing eye contact and basically just trying to, I know I personally cannot like pull people into and out of mindscapes, but I'm guessing she can. So I'm kind of trying to establish a connection with her and try and figure out what she did and kind of prod her into reversing it.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me an
based on this trace that I set up.
Go ahead and give me an RT roll at difficulty 5.
Okay. I'm gonna put a quint into that. This seems important. That's cocked. Okay, that is 4.
Excellent. You start reaching through into the mind, and you realize that she triggered this reflexively.
Mm-hmm.
She did not do this with any control or awareness. This was effectively a wild magic flare-up.
Mm-hmm.
But you also find, without triggering it, a series of like locks set up in her mind. That all appear to have like passkeys and routines installed in them. Like kiosks start popping up that are like asking you for passwords, things along those lines. It seems like these were installed by relatively adept programmers, or possibly even through sleep teaching routine.
Do I think that, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Do I think that any of are they just like things in general, or do I think that any of them are specifically tied to what she did to get us here?
As you're accessing, like, particularly like her own capabilities, her own,
okay.
That's where these things are starting to pop up. Almost as
gotcha.
If maybe someone has locked away training about using mind procedures behind these.
Okay. Hey, kiddo.
Yeah.
There's a lot of locked rooms in your mind. And we don't know each other very well. And I'm loath to go like picking around in people's brains on general rules. But they do seem to be centered around your ability to pull yourself and others into mind palaces.
Who would have locked did my parents lock my mind?
I mean, maybe? I don't know. I just don't know enough.
Can you break it?
Well, I can try, but they're probably better at this than I am. But you might be able to. So you see this here? It's asking me for a password, and I don't know, might be something related to a previous pet or something. I don't know.
Let me try my mom's anniversary. She starts typing in password. While you're doing that, what are the two of you? You're not technically in combat anymore. What would you like to do? You've got the cop hemmed up, and definitely wanting to stay down. Connor, you're standing there. You just told this spirit to screw off, and remarkably, it did.
Yeah.
And you've got these two still laying there, just kind of comatose. What would you like to do?
Check for vitals.
They're both breathing fine. Pulse is strong.
Okay. I'm just going to kind of try and sit them up comfortably against the wall so they're not just lying on the ground.
All right, well,
and then I think better of it and lie them on their sides just in case.
While Connor's like rearranging the bodies, what's Max doing? There's definitely a crowd like coming over, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to get the mute off, and my mouse pointer was jumping around the screen. That's great.
No
So if I certainly let go of the octopus hold that I have on the cop. What is his condition at this point?
He seems befuddled. More than anything, yeah. He like takes a moment to sort of like look around, and then just whispers, "Thank you."
I kind of smirk to him and say, "Who said wrestling is fake?"
I guess not.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to the cop once I finish rearranging the people. Like, Agent Jefferson, Officer
Jackson. Yeah, can I
Jackson. Nice to meet you. We met earlier today. This might be the first time for you, though.
No, I remember that thing was driving my body.
Yeah.
That sounds really. I know that sounds crazy, but
no. There's way crazier things out there. Don't worry about it. And I just pat him on the shoulder. We're gonna get you taken care of. Don't you worry about it. Those kids are gonna be okay, and so are you.
Okay, can I get up now?
I look at Max.
I actually, Max is more naive than anything else. So Max actually offers him a hand to get up.
He stands up. Everybody fine. There's nothing to see here. Move along. While you're sort of arranging yourselves, is there anything that the two of you would like to try with these two?
I'm gonna look at them with spirit, which I have left open this whole fight. So
yeah, they're both intact. You can definitely tell there's a lot of sparkles flying around them right now.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of magic being thrown around on them, but none of them. But they're not possessed. There doesn't seem to be additional entities there.
Yeah, and I don't have enough spirit or any prime, or I would try and like see if I could ground them or something. But yeah, I don't have that. So the most I can do is make sure that the cop is getting his bearings and make a note to myself to call the Mortality Compliance Authority about what happened with this cop so that the technocracy can dot their I's and cross their T's about this. And 2, tell the Morrigan some punk ass fox boy called them a flying rat.
Excellent. You make those mental notes. Is Max doing anything to try to address these two?
This would be way outside of Max's pay grade.
All right. Excellent. So you just kind of sit back and watch and observe. The crowd is sort of, they're looky-looing a little bit, but they are backing up as the cop is telling them to. Inside of that, as you're trying to talk her through this password situation, um, she enters in a thing and says, "I think I got it," and then alarms start going off.
Ooh, well, you got something.
The
Hey,
you see
we
like
can
a
figure this out.
door, like a door of light open, and a blonde woman, looks like she's probably in her late 40s, early 50s. Looks a lot like Ella, but older. Wearing a black pantsuit, steps through the light door. Oh my! Oh, thank you. She runs over and hugs Ella.
Uh,
Mom,
ma'am?
did you put security in my head? She looks over at you.
Hi.
Can I help you? She pulls out a pair of sunglasses and puts them on. Starts reaching
I'm
into
a
her,
friend
into her
of
pocket.
Natalie's. I don't know if she let you know that. Yeah, I'm a friend of Natalie's, and
Yeah.
I was just
It's very
I was trying to
interesting.
help Ella find her way.
Pulls out
Oh.
what looks like a flashlight and starts turning it. Go on.
I don't think there's any need for any of that.
Puts it back
This
in
is
his pocket.
all this is beyond my abilities. So, yeah. Ella, is this actually your mom, or is this like your ideal of your mom, or do you know? Can you tell?
She looks over to her mom and says, "What's the password?" Her mom says, "Pistachio. We've discussed this." She nods and says, "Yes, it is my mom," and turns over and types in pistachio, and the security alarm goes off.
Okay. I mean, so wow, this is a little complicated, ma'am. I think you've probably got a lot to talk to Ella about. Ella, you probably have a lot to talk to your mom about. Physically, I think I would like to be back in the real world. I think probably you would like to be back in the real world. That said, you know, ma'am, I don't think you're where we are, unless things have changed significantly out there in however long we've been in here.
No, can you give me, where are you? And she looks over and says, "Ella, I understand that you're worried. You're not in trouble. We need to talk this out. But you're going to need me to get you out of this situation. I can probably get your friend out pretty easily, but you're going to need professionals to walk you out of this, or you're going to damage yourself badly." Okay?
I mean, she's in her own mind. I don't know that really needs that much help. She got us in here.
She got you in here because she is an untrained, enlightened scientist who reacted. If she doesn't walk out of here carefully, she could do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Excuse a second, Ella. She waves her hand, and you see Ella's ears close over. And she turns to you and says,
"It's a little rude.
If my daughter turns into a marauder because of what you are putting into her head, I will hunt you down and make sure you live for a very, very, very..."
Whoa. Okay. That seems oh, that escalated quickly.
She is in a mindscape right now that she did not create intentionally. She screws up coming out of here. She could lobotomize herself. She could go marauder. She could have 100 things go wrong.
Those are all really worst case scenarios.
You're right.
But okay.
And I work in worst case scenarios. Did you recognize the black suit?
Oh, yes, I did.
My job is worst case scenario. I'm not going to take that risk with my child. Now, you have two choices. Choice number one, I walk you out of here nicely. You help me find her and get her healthy. Choice number 2, you fight me on this. I let you out not so nicely, and you quite possibly wind up lobotomized.
You know, I don't, as a general rule, look for fights these days.
Good.
So
she says, you're going to leave here remembering a phone number. I need you to call it as soon as you wake up. And she steps back out through the door, and the door slams. You come to.
I come to?
Yeah.
Does Ella come to?
Ella's still out.
Okay. The situation around me, there's some random looky-loos. There's
The cop.
a professional wrestler, a cop, and
And some random one-armed man who's a cop puncher, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay.
The guy who almost stepped on you inside.
Hey,
Oh, hi. Oh, God. Thank God you're awake. Okay.
I am.
Hi, I'm Connor.
Hi, Connor. I'm Frank.
Just
This is
continues
Ella.
awkwardly extending the hand.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. You are?
I assume you stand up, Frank.
Me up against the wall, so I'm gonna sit down here until I get a good sense for what's going on.
Excellent.
Max Mercury, you might have seen me earlier.
I did. You are an exceptionally talented individual, or appear to be.
It seems you might be as well.
Yeah,
Hannah.
there's a lot of us. Yeah,
What?
sure.
What?
So I let you help me to my feet. So how's the cop doing?
He seems stressed out, but he's kind of going through the motions of keeping the crowd back. And he just sort of like, does that girl need a hospital?
That's an excellent question. We will get to that, not immediately.
I
Directed
just
towards the two.
She's stable
How's
for
the
now.
cop doing?
So the cop there was a spirit riding him that was
Mhm.
making him do stuff.
Okay.
The security guy who was tailing him to make sure he behaved himself, we found him passed out against a wall.
Okay.
Max, do you know what was up with that?
It was strange. I can reach out to people's emotions and amp them up, but he didn't have anything to amp up. It was like he'd been trained.
Oh, like an emotion vampire or something?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Okay. Oh, ew. Okay.
So that thing that was riding the cop, is it still in the area?
No, I told it to piss off.
Huh?
It
That
looked.
worked?
I'm very persuasive.
Okay. So here's the problem. Ella here.
Mhm.
Her mom is going to be expecting a call
Okay.
because I was talking to her in her mind.
Okay.
On general principle, I think that whether that call gets made should be made by Ella. But I get the feeling that her mom is not used to being disobeyed.
Okay. Who's her mom?
An
Don't
exceptionally
you normally
talented
call a kid's
individual.
parents about this sort of thing?
Yeah.
Normally.
Okay. Yeah. So who's her mom? Is it a sort of capital T kind of situation, or is
Yes.
it? Oh, okay. Leave that to me.
I'm out.
Wait, no. Hold on. Leave that to you. Why? What are you gonna do?
No, I have a license. They already know about me.
Okay. Maybe don't do that either.
Well, I
Because-
have to because I punched a cop.
Okay, fine. Tell them about the punched cop. I don't
Yeah.
care. How good are either of you with mindscapes?
Bad.
Anyone? Bad?
Worse.
Worse. Okay. All right. I think her mom is probably pretty good at that. So maybe we go ahead and call her mom.
I mean, she's a kid. Why wouldn't we be calling her mom? What's this capital T? Capital T is timeout.
Yes. Her mom is
I lean over to Max and I'm like,
agent.
Her mom's the Illuminati.
Do you not know about the there's like no one in earshot, is there?
Just the cop.
Okay. You not know about the technocracy? Is that not a thing? They don't teach you about that?
Isn't that new faction in Texas pro wrestling? Like there's this one guy, like he's got like a fake robot claw. It's like kind of a hokey gimmick.
You must live a fascinating and in many ways much better life than I do. Okay.
Body slams and hyping the people, friend.
All right. So her mom is a secret agent and assassin. Like I said, probably not very used to being disobeyed, and in general, not in favor of people making messes. And I kind of look around.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is not as bad of a mess as things could be. So,
yeah. So the sooner we call them, the sooner they can.
Not them, her.
Okay.
I have reason to believe that there's some friction there.
Okay. So then, and Connor just like pulls a really upset face thinking about all the things that he's not going to be able to say in his official report.
As a general rule, I think that dealing with individuals works better than dealing with organizations. So I would like to keep that on that level.
Okay.
Would you, and I turn to Max, prefer that before we tell her where to pick us up, we be not somewhere that's easily tied to you?
After everything I've seen today, yeah, I think that's a pretty sane idea.
Cool. Have y'all been to this diner that's downtown? I was going there, but then I heard about the promotion. Seems like a good neutral place.
Let's go to the diner. Since you guys are friends with the cop, maybe
Agent Jackson. Officer. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, just, let him know that the three adults are taking a 13-year-old child who's unconscious away in a car, and
well, I mean,
that it's all cool.
Honestly, we should probably take him with us too. Honestly, there's no problem. Okay. If we all leave in his car, it looks less suspicious. Just saying.
Fair. All right, fair. Let's do that.
Okay.
He owes you guys, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he did thank me, so maybe so. His car is also full of kids at the moment.
Yeah, we can pull some of them out of there.
Those other kids are less important.
So I'll deal with the kids. He picks up Ella, and you all walk over to the car. Okay. The cop opens the back door and says, "Listen, if I catch any of you stealing again, you're all going to jail." And they're all like, "But what? Huh? I said what I said. Go." And they all take off.
And as they leave the car, I'm just gonna try and hand them like cards for my stepdad's auto shop. It's like, if you need a good paying job, you can get an apprenticeship to become an auto mechanic here. It's a useful skill.
They all take the cards and look at you kind of funny and run off.
Okay.
Suddenly scared by the cop that was once just giving them help, now turning his back on them, but they'll get over that. Yeah. You all hop in the car, make your way to the diner. Are you waiting till you're
on the way there? I will actually call on the way there.
Phone is answered. It's a man's voice. He says, "Yes, hello, Anderson residence."
Mr. Anderson, my name is Frank. I was just talking to your wife.
Yes.
About your daughter.
Yes. Have you informed anyone else?
No.
All right, where can we meet you?
We are en route to this diner. I don't know what the name of the
We
diner
can be
is.
there in
I'll-
about 20 minutes.
You and your wife, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, she's a little intense. You go to the diner. Any preparations you'd like to make as you arrive there?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna pull out my little pentacle inscribed with, the names of 7 guardian angels, and put up a forces entropy deflecting forces that get targeted at me effect, just to be on the safe side. I'm gonna double check my mind shield. The more mumbling in Latin and making wacky gestures.
Connor is getting increasingly nervous hearing all of this happening in the backseat.
Connor, is this how most other people do this?
A lot of people, I guess. I don't know.
You guys not, look, we are handing over these people's daughter to them, but also
Are you
sometimes people
them
don't
to
have choices
yeah
when their organizations get involved, right?
Yeah.
So
you're expecting them to clean us up?
I'm not expecting anything.
But you're preparing.
I'm preparing. Yes, excellent.
Okay, but the more prepared you look, the more it looks like you're intending to fight. It's kind of like, I don't have a good analogy.
No,
if you look ready,
I understand.
Look ready to fight, people will be like, that person's gonna fight me.
I understand what you're saying, and I think you've just touched on the root cause of, I think at this point, centuries of unfortunate incidents. But all said, if someone takes a shot at me, I would rather increase my odds of getting lethally hit.
No, if someone takes a shot at either of you, you two are getting out. One way or another.
You seem very, very certain about that, but okay.
I am. I'm pretty good at the few things that I'm good at.
Okay.
All right. Any other preparations? You can go ahead and make an RT roll at difficulty 5 for your various wards.
Yeah.
Any preparations that Max would like to make?
So Max still mostly has no idea what these people are talking about, but it's very evident that there's concern for serious shit. So the one thing Max does do is double check that there is still a very small piece of a razor blade on a piece of tape in his pocket.
Absolutely. And any preparatory stuff from Connor?
I'm looking at everybody and being like, God dang it! Now it'll be weird if I don't. And I'm just gonna take a deep breath, close my eyes, breathe out through my nose, and do Archer's whole chant of "I am the bone of my sword," and use a forces matter spell to try and give myself soak, basically.
Okay. Excellent. Go ahead and roll RT at 5. How many successes did you get on yours?
Just 1.
Excellent.
Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and spend my last quintessence to bring it down to 3.
Okay.
Or is it okay?
Bring it down to 4.
Okay, so only 1 point of
5,
interest.
right? Yep.
Okay. Well, I needed it. 2 successes.
All right, excellent. Wards are up. You're as safe as you can be. You go and get a corner booth where you set Ella, and she just kind of leans. She's sleeping peacefully, like, the hostess is like, "Oh, what a little angel! She must be taken out from the road." Like, it's very like, she just looks like a kid who's tired. And you wait about 10 minutes. Order some fries. Just awkwardly, sort of share a plate of fries while you're waiting. With this cop who's just like, I'm not saying shit to anybody, but somebody should probably go to that haunted house and check on those kids later.
Yeah, they probably should. Dude, you gotta eat something. You have been through an ordeal. You gotta eat something.
Orange juice and cookies, right? Like I gave blood. He's
We're getting you a burger, okay?
yeah, he's just like his world is a little blown. So after about 15 minutes, the couple walks in. They're both wearing black suits. Mom's wearing like a white blouse with gray pinstripes on it. Dad's just wearing a like regular standard button-up shirt with black tie. They come in and sit down. They sit on either side. So like on one side next to the cop is the dad. The other side next. Who's going to take the outside seat to share with the mom?
I think Connor will because he's the most unfazed.
That's fair. Yeah, because it's like a circle booth, right? Okay. So as soon as they sit down, the dad puts on his sunglasses and pulls out a pen and flashes the cop. And puts his.
Okay. And Connor just puts his probational license on the table in front of him.
Okay. The mom looks down and says, "Good to know, but it would be best if you kept this off your reports." And she slides the license back to you.
Yes, ma'am. Put it in my wallet.
So here's the deal, folks. I appreciate you. I'm sorry if I was intense. I appreciate you bringing my child back to me. She's probably in a bit of a state. And she like reaches her arm around like behind Connor and like opens Ella's eyes and is looking at him. All right, I can probably get her safe back home.
Okay. So look, I'm not a parent, but I think there's some real trust issues right now between you and Ella. Yeah, I'm sure not a surprise. Ultimately, none of that is really my responsibility. I am in no situation here to make demands or extract promises, but this is one of my business cards. I'm going to put it in her pocket. I would appreciate if you let her keep that. I think that maybe in the long term, her having someone else to talk to might be helpful. I know you don't freaking know who I am. I would also ask that you not use it to like call down a satellite launched kinetic strike on me.
She says, the pogrom is so last century. And says, if you don't mind, I will take her and get her out of the way. You have my word, I won't prevent her from taking that business card. And she stands up and moves, like gestures out. Hold on. For
real
Connor.
Quick. Would you mind calling Natalie for me?
Oh, sure. Mark, and he takes out the phone. Calls, puts it on speaker. Slides his phone, which is like looks basically like a slightly sleeker iPhone. Slides it under the table along with like a quarter-sized device that pulses once, and then those of you who have forces senses active can tell that there's a forces effect happening. And he says, "Yeah, Natalie, you're on speaker." Says, "Hello, Mark? Did something wrong?"
Hey, Natalie, this is Frank. Do you recognize the number this is coming from?
Yeah, that's Mark's number.
Okay. Is this a number that should be associated with the individual we were discussing earlier?
Yeah, looks like you two found each other. That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't intentional, but
I knew I heard.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm not sending her home with people who are pretending to be her parents.
Good on you for checking that out. Appreciate your thoroughness. Told you I'd hire somebody that knew what they were doing, Mark. He says, "Yeah, thanks. We're square now. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Nat." She says, "No problem. I'm glad that
I'm
she's
going to
home
call
safe.
Natalie now.
All
They
right.
hung up.
All right.
Natalie?
Your paranoia has served you well. She answers the phone.
I mean, I'm still alive. So yes. We've discussed this. It's not paranoia if they're really out to get you.
That's valid. That's a good point. Sorry to drag you into way more action than you normally like to see, but
No, it's fine.
those
I'm
are-
just, since there's a child involved, I'm just trying to be careful.
I appreciate every bit of your thoroughness, and you're worth every bit of bonus that you'll find in your envelope.
Well, thank you. All
Thank
right.
you.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, let me know if I need to do any cleanup. Hangs up. Ella's mother says, "We happy now?" Good. She gestures for Connor to get out of the way so that she can scoop Ella up.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Excuse me.
And she picks Ella up and takes her out to the car. Mark says, "I'll be right there." They walk out, and he says, "Again, I want to thank you all. We wanted Ella to have an opportunity to have a normal life. I also want to assure you all that it's important to us that she retain as much of her autonomy as she chooses, that she makes her own decisions and follows her own path in life. And it's good to know that now if she decides to follow a very difficult path, at least she has a couple of friends to walk it."
Connor looks approvingly at Frank and Max and fully is not mentally including himself in that list.
You must be talking about you guys.
Yeah.
So I will ensure as well that she has that card in case she goes that route. All I ask is if she decides not to, and don't get in her way.
I told your daughter I'm not anyone's recruiting officer.
All right. Well, in case you ever need me, he tosses out 3 business cards that just have numbers on them.
Got a booking agent.
You said your name was Mark, right? And Connor
Yeah.
takes out a pen.
Mark Anderson. I'll be seeing you. He gets up and
Not if I see you first, agent. Ha ha!
Oh.
and leaves, leaving you all with the cop. Who, as soon as like the door dings that Mark has left, the cop blinks a couple times, says, "Oh, it's real nice of you guys to take me out and buy me dinner. I'm real sorry about that misunderstanding earlier.
No problem, sir. Water under the bridge."
Yeah, your car sort of matched the description of something. I better get going. I think I'm running late." He gets up and leaves.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So tell me about Big M spicy stuff. How does that work for you two?
Magic? You're asking about magic?
Oh, he said the word. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. I keep doing the two-hand thing. This is a one-handed character. Okay.
You all, as it is now a half hour past our scheduled time, you all spend the evening bonding over grits and mashed potatoes at a Greasy Spoon diner in Northern Illinois. And that's where we will fade to black on our tail. Any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns about this week's session and this journey into the world of Mage?
Thank you for running.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is
This was
awesome.
lovely. Thank you so
This was cool.
much.
Very
Thank you.
cool.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Anything about the story that didn't make sense, or that you had any lingering questions or concerns about? Anything else?
I mean, only lingering concerns is I initially had a concern that something was riding the kids, but I think based on what you said, it's the the spiritual entity was feeding off of them and like kind of doing it both ways, eating off their emotions and getting them to harvest money for it.
Right, exactly. So yeah, a little pull back as to what was going on. You essentially have a specter that's acting as a Fagin type. You know, I'm gonna get you to, you know, you'll support your own existence by petty crime. I can make that go away if I'm riding this cop, and then I get to feed off of the nervousness that you get by doing that petty crime.
Right.
You know, and everybody's happy, nobody gets hurt. Was kind of his shtick.
Okay.
So, yeah, good catch on that. Good call.
No, that was cool. I apologize. I was kind of off doing my own thing the whole time.
Just the way it worked out.
No. That's literally how it worked out, right?
Yeah,
So.
it's just literally the way it worked out. But also, like, full disclosure, that Mindscape thing was a total result of, like, you know, Paradox Botch. You know, like because I had her roll for a wild talent to see if she could help you. And it was a sea of ones. And I was like, oh no. So yeah,
Stop helping!
That was the most interesting and fitting way to pull it together. So
yeah,
I really had a blast, and once again, I want to make sure that I thank all of you for your time, for being here, for playing, and for your support of Lore of the Traditions. I do want to remind the audience at home that Lore of the Traditions is still available over on BackerKit for pre-order. So if you head over to BackerKit, you can check out Lore of the Traditions, and I will throw a link to that up in the chat here momentarily. But also want to give everybody an opportunity to go ahead and tell us who you are, what you do, who you've been playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you might want to promote. And we'll go in the opposite order this time. So let's start things off with Frank. Please give us your pertinent details.
Oh, Frank, that's me.
Yes.
Sorry.
Sorry,
yeah,
I fall immediately into referring to people by their character names.
You know, I'm not used to this whole streaming thing. So, So Anton Adam, he, him. I was playing Frank, he, him. I do not really have a huge online presence, so I'm just happy to be here today. Thanks.
Thank you for being here, and again, thank you for helping us make Lore of the Traditions happen. I really, really appreciate your contribution and your help. Next up, we have Connor. Please give us your pertinence.
Hello, I am Rowan. He, him, played Connor Graves, also he, him. I am one of 4 hosts of a geeky media review podcast called the Ace of Geeks podcast. You can find us on Twitter. At Twitter, at the Ace of, no, not at the Ace of Geeks, at Ace of Geeks.
It's conveniently floating right under your face.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, wow. Never have I ever flubbed a line harder than anyway. So also, I have a bunch of music that I made during the pandemic to keep myself from going mad. There are 2 SoundCloud links to playlists of music that I've made, which I've put in the chat here in Zoom and hopefully will go out into the chat. If you like what you heard and you're interested in telling me that you like what you heard with money, you can go to coffee.com. That's ko-fi.com/Celebrial. That's SALEIBRIEL. It's a little online tip jar. Throw $3 in there and earn my undying appreciation.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And thank you for taking the time to be here, and again for your support. I really, really appreciate it. And that's ko-fi.com/SALADRIEL.
SALEIBRIEL.
Yeah, see,
yes.
That's my good hearing. SALEIBRIEL, right?
Yes, Celebrial.
Beautiful. There we go. I'll throw that in the chat as well for our wonderful folks at home who should all go listen to your music and then toss coins to their Witcher, as it were. And last but not least, that leaves us with Max. Please give us your pertinence.
Yes, so I'm Rhett, they, them, and today I was playing Max Mercury, he, him. You can find me on Twitter at Road River Rail, which is in right there. If you like bad World of Darkness humor, I highly suggest my alternate account at Tech Union Actual. We have a good time over there. Not too much else to push, but I do just want to say, like, writing up Max was the first time I took on a Sahajiya character, and I actually sat down with Lore of the Traditions to start fleshing it out. And I gotta say, that book was like a gust of fresh wind. Like it's one of the best Mage 20 materials I've ever seen. It really reframed a lot of the traditions in a new way, in a way that's very much like past the old lore arcs that I think we really, really needed. So it's been a delight to support it. And I honestly would love to play Max again. So like, if you run in a stream and you'd like a crazy Sahajiya pro wrestler, hit me up. Max is fun.
Absolutely, you should. We should find a way to do this again as well. I'm all for it. This was a great time, and I really enjoyed this group. I really enjoyed the characters. I really enjoyed the way things fell together. It was nice to see that group dynamic build. And thank you so much for the kind words about Lore. The writers, I like to joke it was the easiest book that I ever barely developed, because really all I did was I hired very well, and then the writers all did amazing work with their traditions.
Well, so like you said before we started the stream, 80% of the work is not glamorous.
Right. Yeah. But it's the hiring people. It's the pointing and saying that person's going to do a good job with this. So I'm really glad to hear that was reflected in your experience reading it. I think it's important to, whenever possible, grab voices who live in these worlds and live in the cultures that these traditions are based on, and try to, wherever possible, amplify that. And I think that's we were really fortunate to be able to work with an amazing team. And again, fortunate that we had the support of individuals such as yourself. We should talk sometime that's not live on camera about playing again sometime. But in the interim, those of you who are watching at home, you should be sure to support Lore of the Traditions if you haven't already. Go back it on Backer Kit so you can get your pre-order copy when that rolls out. Make sure you've subscribed and are following this channel if you've not yet done so. Follow everybody on their social media, and make sure you're wearing your masks, getting your shots, taking care of yourselves and each other. Stay safe. There's still a pandemic on. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye, all.